This episode is rated M for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of the PFC Entertainment Network or any of the affiliates that make this show possible.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
If it's in the headlines, on the first page or the last, it's fair game here on the Sports Reel Podcast.
And we welcome you to the real reason why Tuesdays were invented. This is the Sports Reel Podcast, and we are live as you can be here across the platforms of the PFC Entertainment Network. Along with Tim Sheridan, I'm Jason Klaus. We certainly appreciate you spending part of your evening with us. And on his way to the studio will be one Eric Mendel. We'll be joined by him later on in the broadcast. But we have a very, very, very special guest that's going to be joining us. Tim, it's good to see you. How's things? And would you like to do the honors?
I would. So things are absolutely fantastic in my neck of the woods. You know, I mean, I had all last week off of work. So a lot of relaxing, got a lot of other stuff done, not as much as I wanted to get done, obviously, because that never happens when you have time off of work. But we had a lot of good times. You know, we got to go down to Lapeer Days for the weekend. Yeah, I don't recommend. Just a little insight. Like, we used to go down there and play Spot the Drug Addict, and it used to be like 1 in every 20, and now it's just a bunch of damn zombies walking around that place. It's like 1 in every like 5 people was a meth head. Nobody's got teeth anymore. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't get it. Like, it was like, all right, let's get the hell out of here. But on top of that news, we do have a very special guest this week, one that I've been waiting to get on the show for a while. We've been liking each other's shit, you know, for quite a while. This is the guy with the most energy I've ever seen on the internet, and he puts out the most content I've ever seen. I feel like I see his face more than I do my own wife's because I spend too much time on the internet. But we got Abe from Detroit, who is part of the Holy Sh podcast. Abe, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing? Appreciate you guys having me on to talk some sports.
It's been a long time in the making, man. Like, I'm excited that we were supposed to do this a little while ago, like, heads up, like, I think like a month ago or something, but you had some stuff
my fault.
Now, I know. I told you when I was talking to you, I'm like, you had shit going on with Fox too, and that takes precedent over us, you know what I mean? And I get that. So, but I'm glad that we could finally reconnect and get this thing going.
Most definitely.
Well, we do have a lot that we're going to tackle here this week. You know, here in the city of Detroit, around the city of Detroit, the state of Michigan, you know, we're kind of on this roller coaster of emotions, gentlemen. Well, like, we're getting all excited about the upcoming season for the Detroit Lions, but in the meantime, we're starting to see the bottom fall out for the Tigers. And that's where we're going to start here this week, is focusing on the downward spiral that our beloved Detroit Tigers have been on. It has been one of the hardest weeks of the entire season last week, going 0-6, if you can believe that. They lost every single game they played in the last week, including dropping 2 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. They didn't play on Thursday. and then getting swept by the Kansas City Royals, something that I did not anticipate happening. And then they kicked off a 3-game set with the league leading Tampa Bay Rays dropping 4-1 last night. And I'm here to tell you, man, like it's starting to get scary because on the horizon, Friday night could be the main event of not just this week, but the entire season, because Tarek Skubal is returning to Comerica Park this Friday night when the Dodgers come to town to start a 3-game series. After that, another divisional rival in the Minnesota Twins. That door of opportunity, Tim, to secure a wild card spot is closing ever so rapidly. And I told you before we came on the air here, losing or being swept by the Royals was the last thing that this team needed right now. Where is your level of concern at this point?
I mean, I think I'm about the same level of concern as most Detroit Tigers fans. Like, we're a little bit worried right now, especially after the July and August that they had. Like, they were one of the hottest teams in baseball there for a while, and we traded Skubal away, and they kept that, they kept it going in the right direction. And then all of a sudden, the bottom fell out. I mean, I think Dingler, the last time I looked, he was like 2 for 44. Like he's just not, his bat's not working. The team is just not going the direction that we want them to go. And the margin is so thin now. I think we're down to 31 games left, somewhere right around there.
Yeah.
So the margin's getting very thin. Now, luckily, they made a little headway there through July and August. So there's still a possibility. But with this series coming up with the Dodgers, and then, it's not looking good. Voldemort's coming back to Detroit, like that name that we shall not speak on this show, even though you said it, and I might have said it too. So, but I guess it's fair game on this show tonight. But yeah, I'm not feeling very confident right now, unfortunately, but they could get hot again. And I've always said baseball is a game of momentum, and those teams that catch momentum at the right time and get hot at the right time can carry into a playoff series. Now, can they go deep into the playoffs even if they get there? I don't have much hope for that this year, unfortunately. It's a very young team with not a lot of experience in those positions. So, and they don't have a lot of depth, and they just haven't had the run support, unfortunately. And you need that run support, especially when your bullpen's as bad as it is, you need that run support. And it fell off a cliff, man. I can't explain it any other way besides the fact that it fell off a cliff.
I apologize for the background noise. Apparently, it's lawn maintenance day around these parts, so I do apologize for that.
Don't they know we got a fucking show to record?
Dude, what's funny about that is it's my landlord doing it, and he's for the last handful of weeks, he shifted his day knowing that I was doing the show. So I don't know if we have heat right now. I don't know what the problem is, but the fact that I saw him pull out the lawnmower about 15 minutes before I got on the air here, I'm like, oh, hell no, not why are you doing this here tonight? But be that as it may, you, Abe, let me ask you real quick. Number one, and I'm just curious on this. We don't have to spend a tremendous amount of time because this is a topic that all Tigers fans, all podcasters, all show hosts have spent, if I can be honest with you, in my estimation, a stupid amount of time talking about Tarek Skubal and what ultimately would result in his leaving for Los Angeles. What was your takeaway with how the whole thing with Skubal was handled and his eventual being traded to Los Angeles? Did it bother you one way or the other? Are you affected? Are you pissed off? Are you happy? Where are you at with this whole thing?
If we had a team with some fight in us, I think I'd be a little more upset because I saw this a little bit coming. Even if we kept Skubal, everybody got healthy, all the stars aligned, it's still, their team's just so much more dominant than us in hitting. Like you said it earlier, we need hitting. We could keep Skubal all we want, but if nobody's hitting the ball to give him an advantage, he's pointless here. So I wasn't too upset with him leaving. I am upset he's going to come here Friday when we need some wins.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. We'll see how that goes. But no, I wasn't too upset about the trade. It was bound to happen. The writing was on the wall last year when they had the what do you call it? The refereeing they had, what was it, with the negotiating. When all that happened, I just knew it was only a matter of time before he was gone.
Oh, you're talking about the arbitration?
Arbitration, that's the word.
Yeah, that he went through. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's
No,
kind of like the same thing with Dern, man. When you start disrespecting players when it comes to money, it's all downhill from there. That's why I appreciate the Lions. You know, they're figuring this out, how to pay guys right away.
Oh, you just brought up a good point. We'll bring that up here in a little bit with
Yep,
what's
yep,
going
yep.
on with Duran right now. But yeah, no, you're 100% right with the team. And that actually, before we get back into the Tigers real quick, because I want to get his opinion on this. Obviously, being from Detroit, you guys cover the Lions a lot and stuff like that. But just being from Detroit fans, right now we know Chris Ilitch owns both the Tigers and the Red Wings. You just said it, like, again, as I reiterated earlier, like, this team needs more hitting. They need run support. And it doesn't feel like Chris Ilitch has done anything for either one of these teams. And actually, Eric brought up on the show last week how he actually refused to sign some players that Yzerman wanted to get for this team that would actually probably help push this team to a playoff run last year. But, you know, Chris Ilitch is like, no, I'm not giving you the money for that, like, unfortunately. So is Chris Ilitch a huge problem for these two teams, and should he just sell? You know what I mean? Could these teams be more successful with a different owner?
Oh, 1,000%. You can see that with the Pistons when Gore came in. It was just a resurgence of life. It took him a minute. We had some downhills, but you just need something fresh. You need the fans to believe that there's hope. And right now there is zero hope in Ilitch doing absolutely anything for the Red Wings or the Tigers. You know, and by us being hardcore Midwestern fans, there will be no change because we're great fans. We show up to games, we spend money, we buy tickets. So why would I want to change if I'm an owner? We're selling it out for them. The Red Wings, I was trying to go to a Red Wings game this season. It was damn near $500-$600 for the ticket.
It's crazy. And they were bad.
They didn't even have a chance to make the playoffs when I wanted the ticket. But still, that shows the demand that we're giving. So we're not giving them a reason as fans to make a change, to be quite honest.
So when I bring that up, I always bring up the one name. I was on Catching Up with Cody last night, and we were talking about this exact subject. And I'm like, they're going to sell. I mean, we got a guy in town who, I mean, you got the Ilitches in town, and you got Dan Gilbert in town. Dan Gilbert's done pretty damn well with the Cavaliers over the years. Yes. Could he be a name that we'd like to see take over these teams? You know what I mean? Could he be the one to put his hat in the ring to buy these teams? He already owns the other half of downtown. You know what I mean? So that could be a name that, sense. Yeah, I mean, that would be the guy who could put up the money. And I believe he's shown interest in buying a team in the past in the Detroit area, since he has so many ties to Detroit. He just doesn't own a team here yet. He unfortunately has to own a team down in Cleveland. And hey, the basketball team's pretty good. The baseball team's not bad. The football team's, yeah, that's another story for another day. Vinny, I apologize. We don't know what the hell's going on with your team right now, brother. But yeah, Dan Gilbert, I think, would make the most sense in that position to be able to pick up at least one of these teams. And I think he could turn this thing around, at least possibly try to spend some money, because obviously he spent money with Cleveland. So he's willing to put money into a team over the years to win championships. So I think that would be an exciting move overall.
The only bad part about it is we're not the Panthers. We're not the Texans. We're not some rinky-dink team. The Tigers and Red Wings are historical teams. You just don't sell those type of teams unless you got a really, really good deal, because that's one of the original sixes, you know? So it's not an easy thing to do.
No, I mean, 100%. Yeah. You're talking about, you know, it's Hockey Town, USA for the Red Wings. You know what I mean? And the Tigers have been one of the top franchises, you know, throughout the years. I know they haven't won a championship since '84, but I mean, you look at the runs, whether it was 06 and through the, you know, the 2010s and up there for a little bit when that team was stacked, when Mr. I was still running this team, you know what I mean? And I think that's the difference. Mr. I was running this team. And if he was still here today, I don't think we'd be even having this conversation, to be honest, because he'd be willing to throw the money into the teams to win championships, because that's what he cared about. Unfortunately, his son just does not seem to want to live up to that narrative of winning championships. He just wants to make money, which unfortunately, that's what a lot of these pro owners, whether it's through the four major sports, a lot of these teams are built up this way. And that's why I was so excited when Sheila Ford took over the Lions, because she wants to win and she's shown it. She passed, the reins over to Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell and said, bring us a winning team. And they've been pretty successful up until, last year, but we'll call that a fluke last year with injuries, you know what I mean? And like kind of a rebuild year, and the whole Ragnow thing and everything else kind of left them out in left them out there, and they had to kind of try to fill that role. The offensive line kind of sucked, and but I think this is going to be a return year for them. But it brings me up to another question I got for Abe real quick, is because it's another conversation I had with Cody last night on the show. Is a lot of people look, and we've said this before on the show, that Detroit is like a mid-sized market town. We're not considered a large market town, but honestly, if you really look at it, we could be. I mean, fucking the Lions just had 50,000 people show up to a preseason game the other day. That's wild. That's a preseason game, 50,000 people. You go to any of these stadiums, you go to a Red Wings game, you go to a Pistons game, you go to a Tigers game, you go to a Lions game. These things are sold out, and they're getting top dollar for these tickets. Like you said, the Red Wings team's not even good, and they want that much money for the thing. You go to a Tigers game right now, and the seats that I paid like $60 a piece for just a few years ago are now $300 something a piece. So like the prices are going up like crazy. So these teams are making money, but we're still considered a mid-sized market team. And I think that's just because of what our owners spend. Now, certain sports like football, you got a salary cap. You know what I mean? You got what you got. You can only spend so much money. Same thing with hockey. But when it comes to baseball and basketball, you can spend a assload of money. So like I think there's room for this to be a large market team or a large market city, and if they really pay attention, I think it could grow to that. What's your feeling on that? You think they can become a large market?
Oh yeah, definitely. Most definitely, we could become a lot. I think why we're not considered a large market is just the economics here. Citizens around here in our metropolitan area are making the most money. There's not a lot of job opportunities here, so I think that's why they're not considering us a large market. But for what we are doing with what we have, we are maximizing it to the
Yeah.
brim. You know what I mean? So the tipping point is right there. If the economy changes, if we can keep revitalizing downtown, bring a few more jobs here, easily we could be a large market here.
Oh, 100%. And that's the weird thing, because even though, you bring up the economics of the area and everything else, stuff like that, doesn't stop anybody from spending the money. You know what I mean?
True.
So the money is still rolling out. People are still spending that money to go to these games. Lions game, there's not a seat in that house that's less than probably $400.
Right.
Like it's wild, and it goes way up from there. Those are not very good seats. You know what I mean? And people are still spending it every week. So even though this area doesn't make the most amount of money, we still spend it, and we spend it on the
still
teams that we
spend it.
love. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And so owners spend a little bit more money on the team. I can't talk about the Lions, you know what I mean? Because they can only do what they can do. But Chris Ilitch, get off your ass, start spending some money. That's all we're saying. We want to see some championships back in this town, or just sell the team. Like, honestly. Jason, I know you probably got some inputs. I see you taking notes. I saw two of you there a second ago. You threw me off. I didn't know which one I was going to talk to here in a minute.
I don't know what the hell happened right there either. It said the browser stopped recording. I'm like, well, clearly it didn't. So I don't know what's happening. Just a couple of points that I wanted to make here while you guys were talking. And Abe, I want to start with this, because this is something. Here's the thing with me, brother. I focus on, I don't necessarily focus on the statistics in sports. I focus a lot on the human element part of the sports game that doesn't get talked about a whole lot. And I try to incorporate that into the here and now. And, when you start talking about sports and the statistics and the analytics and stuff like this, at the bottom line of everything is the human element. And the one thing that I really appreciated about what you said a moment or two ago was your recognition of the importance of what our franchises are. The Detroit Red Wings, and I've been crucified for this because I put a lot of stock in the fact that they are an original six team. And when you look at the original six of the NHL, like I feel like, because they're the ones that kind of set the table for the NHL as we know it now. Like I really feel like the NHL has really dropped the ball in promoting these six franchises as historical entities. And when fans actually appreciate the history and the lineage of their hometown teams, like I have a great respect and a great appreciation for that. So for you to say that, man, like that meant a lot. And then you look at the Detroit Tigers. This is one of the charter teams for the what we know as the American League now for Major League Baseball. They should be, and I'm not talking fan base wise because we have seen that the attendance numbers are pretty decent for Tigers games, even at this stage. I was watching last night. They're playing the Tampa Bay Rays right now, and there's not a lot of Tampa Bay fans that drove up here from Detroit or from Florida up to Detroit. But you have a fan base here that desperately wants this team to be a winner, and we saw that like what Tim was saying with Mike Ilitch. And when he saw that the Tigers were really starting to make some headway, he threw the money into it. Same thing with the Red Wings. Jesus Christ, the 2002 team was essentially an NHL all-star team. Like he guaranteed we were winning the Stanley Cup. But it's because of the respect that he had for the franchise. And the fans, like what you were saying, like the fans are going to continue to show up. And I need the ownership, the management of the Detroit Tigers to recognize, look, we are here for it. You need to put the money in and give us a winner. Give us something to get excited about. Because right now, and I have said this all season long, we have been on a roller coaster. We go through the highs, we go through the lows. This time last week, the Tigers were in the wild card if the playoffs had started then. Now they're a handful of games out of it, just like that. And it's like, man, how is it that you are sitting there calling all the shots financially? And you see how close this team is. We need a couple of veteran players. We need a couple of veteran bats. We need to get on base. Why is this not being prioritized? So I appreciate the fact that, it's not just us talking about it every other week here on the program. It's across the state. It's across the country, because whether they're making national headlines or not, the Tigers are still on the radar. It's not too far gone yet. There's still a chance, albeit a slim one. But there is a chance for them to make the wild card, because if it was to start here tonight, we would have Tampa Bay, Chicago, and Texas as the division leaders. Texas just overtook the West. The wild cards would round up with the Yankees, Red Sox, and the Guardians. The Tigers are within striking distance. Over in the National League, Brewers, Dodgers, Braves, no surprise there. The surprise comes with the San Diego Padres and the Philadelphia Phillies. The Cubs have been in the mix of it for the majority of the season. So we're sitting here and we're talking about this, and it's like, okay, you see how close we can be. Why are we not putting money behind the product? And you're right. And Detroit has the potential to be a bigger market. Either invest in the team or get rid of the team. It really has come down to that, Tim, in my estimation.
Definitely.
No, 100%. And I'm sick of seeing these teams, whether it's the Red Wings just sitting out at the bottom when there's the ability there. And obviously we know now that, Yzerman was trying to build something and he was turned down. Chris Ilitch just didn't want to put the money into the team. And we thought he put a little bit of money into the team this year for the Tigers. and it just hasn't turned out because once the trade deadline came up, they sold. You know what I mean? And was it the right time to sell? I don't know. You know what I mean? Being that close and in the mix of things, but I understand. Getting rid of Scooble, get something for him while you can. And if you want to try to get him back next year, he's a free agent. You got the opportunity to bring him back. Now, the Mize trade, that one threw me off. Like, I didn't see them getting rid of Casey Mize. So that one was just full on sell off to me. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's where we're at. So now we got some pieces back in that, one of them being River Ryan. We'll see how he turns out. But I'm really thrown off by Chris Ilitch right now, and I've been bitching about it for a long time. Trouble's here, and he's coming packed with beer. He's got lots of beer. It's going to be an interesting night. But I'm thrown off by Chris Ilitch, and I think it's time that the Ilitches sell this damn team or sell both teams because I'm just not liking the situation with those two teams anymore. And obviously he's not doing anything to fix it. It's only getting worse over the years. Eric, how you doing, man?
So, okay.
I got to turn on your mic.
Muted for no reason because this is turned off, but okay. But doing it, I'm good. Happy to be here finally. I've been listening to podcasts on the way here, and
oh, you figured out how your volume worked?
It was going through my truck. It was turned all the way up.
Oh, was it? But It wasn't working? You couldn't hear us?
No, I could hear it. I couldn't hear the mower. That's what I was saying.
Oh, you couldn't hear the mower. Gotcha. No, I could hear the mower. So
I couldn't hear it at all. So you guys are fine. Tim, you're stupid.
Let me mention this real quick as far as the Tigers go, and Eric, I'll give you an opportunity to chime in on anything that.
Hold on. Nice to meet you, Abe.
Nice to meet you too, Eric.
Good, Jason. Now I'll let you speak.
I didn't know we could have beers on this show. I would have brought one down. What the hell?
Go grab one, dude. Go grab one.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, that's all we do is drink, Abe. So
okay. Don't make us sound like alcoholics here.
Eric's an alcoholic. Like
I'm a weekend alcoholic. Shut up.
It's Tuesday. You got a beer in your hand.
As
Tuesday. I don't know where we're at, but go ahead, Jason.
As far as the Detroit Tigers go, when we look at the schedule for the remaining series of this season, obviously here they're dealing with. They're going to be dealing with the Twins. They're going to be dealing with the Dodgers. And then after that, they have the Guardians, another series with the Twins, then the Colorado Rockies, Blue Jays, White Sox, Nationals, Pirates. So on the grand scheme of things, I expect that they're going to win the series. They should sweep the Rockies.
You expected them to win some of those Kansas games, though.
Exactly.
That's just it. And that's what I was telling Tim before we came on the air. They should not have been swept.
They should have swept them.
That was a crucial blow for the Tigers. But there's enough series on here that are winnable. Colorado, Pittsburgh, even though they were atrocious against the Pirates here last week, these two teams go back and forth. It's like 50-50 booking, it feels like. So the Tigers are going to have the Pirates number. That is a winnable series. These interdivision series with the White Sox and with the Twins are going, it's coming down to that. If they can get a winning record over those two teams with these remaining series, we're in a good spot. However, we have seen that they have shit the bed against teams that they should have beaten. And that's what worries me about the Colorado Rockies. And obviously you can tell, like I'm a Rockies fan, but not when it comes at the expense of the Detroit Tigers. Feel me? What'd you say?
You heard me.
I missed you.
I missed you too. Thank you. Oh, you got the White Sox coming up again, and when they played the White Sox last time, Tim, get your ass over there. Don't fucking. That's fine. Go. Damn it. Fucking idiot. You try to like duck under the camera and it's like lower, so it never works. But yeah, you're going against the White Sox. Last time you guys played them, you got swept by them. So it's like they kind of already got your number. So I'm worried about that one. Minnesota, we already talked about them before on the show, Jason. They always have our number in MLB for some odd reason. So those two series make me nervous. The Rockies, yeah, it shouldn't make me nervous, but it does. But also, beginning of the show, you guys were talking about Tigers. I've kind of already put a fork in them. You fumbled 6 games like this and all that. And, when Derek Dingler ain't hitting, the whole team's bad. The whole team cannot
Dylan,
play.
by the way.
Dylan Dingler, my bad.
Put some respect on his name.
Shut up.
Damn it.
I should. But when he's not playing and you got Riley Green out and it's just the vibe there's not going well. Max Clark last night went 0 for 3, I think, or the night before. It's not looking good, So when one player is not playing and it affects the whole team, that's not a good thing. And something's going on in the locker room. They need to figure it out.
Eric, I don't know if you saw this, and let me just throw this graphic up here real quick again. If the playoffs were to start here tonight, if they were to start here today, these are your teams. You got the Rays, or the White Sox, the Rangers are the division leaders. Yankees, Boston, and Cleveland would round out the wild card. To Scott's credit, and I just saw his comment on here, there are still a lot of teams jockeying for position for a wild card spot, and there's still enough baseball, enough games going on in the season. But let me just run down these teams. The Houston Astros are half a game back. These are for the final wild card spot, by the way. Mm-hmm. Houston is a half a game back. Minnesota and Toronto, both two games back. Baltimore, who has come out of nowhere, 2.5 games back. Then Seattle at 3. Then the Tigers at 4.5. I say that to say the Astros and the Blue Jays and the Orioles have pretty challenging schedules remaining. So with the shift going on within the rankings, like in the NL, in the National League, it was just the other day, or I'm sorry, the American League, that Texas overtook the American League West. And this is a division that they were not considered to be a front runner. They were going to be in the hunt, but they weren't going to be a front runner. But now they are. And then you look over the National League and you see the jockey in a position like San Diego. Like, you cannot get rid of San Diego right now. They'll drop a half a game out of the wild card, and then they're right back into it. And there's just so much shifting going on right now that there is some wiggle room. When you look at the National League standings coming into here today, the big change right now was the switch between Pittsburgh and St. Louis. And that's why I say that this upcoming series with the Pirates is a winnable one. Thankfully, they don't have to mess around with the likes of Arizona and San Diego moving forward. Los Angeles, yes, they're scarier than hell. In the American League, there's still a lot of moving and shifting going on. This is the wrong graphic. I do apologize, because Texas was in first place in the AL West as of this morning. But the Athletics went down to the basement, unfortunately. Los Angeles Angels climbed out of it. They're nowhere near playoff contention. I just use that as an example of there's still a lot of baseball. There's still a lot of wiggle room, and somebody's going to play the spoiler for somebody. So I'm not at the point where I'm closing the door on the Tigers yet.
Door shut. Yeah. Fork in them. They're done.
No, they're
32 games left, 31 after today. Calling it. If you're gonna lose 6 in a row and all that, probably gonna lose 7 tonight because you're facing one of the top teams. I'm gonna call it. I think their season's done. I don't want to say it because I'm hopeful, but if you can't hit the ball, you ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it if you can't hit the ball.
Well, I could tell everybody right now.
Tim, you shut up over there.
I know. I'm just saying, I would put money on the Tigers now, because Eric is really bad at guessing what's going to go on in sports.
I listened to you about golf, and I was wrong. So fuck you.
No, I told you the good chance Clark was going to win that thing. But
no, you didn't. You said there's a good chance Roy could come back, and he almost did.
I said it'd be a tough run, but if I was to put $5 on somebody, I'd put it on Rory. You know what I mean? But Clark has still got quite a bit of lead, and he almost did choke that.
He almost
tournament.
did. He almost did.
He almost did, but it wasn't.
We'll
Roy.
talk about your
Patrick
boring
Cantlay that
segment
made it
later.
around. Shut the fuck up. This guy's a fucking wild man.
Hey, what's your opinion on the Tigers right now with 31 games left? What's going on? Where all the standings are? What do you think is going to happen?
Like Jason
I got to
said,
hear it.
like Jason said a week or so ago, we were right there. It was the Kansas City Royals. Because if we
Yep.
would have got a couple of those games, we could have win against LA. You know where they're going to win. Now we're
Maybe.
already behind. LA is going to pile more on, and it's just we're not a catch-up team.
But
you
we
know?
might show up for the teams that are good. You never know. For some
True.
reason, that's Detroit's thing. When the teams are really good and, I think we're going to get blown out. For some reason, we show up and we win. That's with all 4 teams for some reason.
I want
They're
to see
beating
that
Schuylkill
Cleveland
Friday.
series next. I want to see that Cleveland series in September.
That's
wanna
gonna
judge
be
it. I
interesting.
want to judge it off. They can somehow miraculously win that series there. We'll see what happens. That'll be the telling tape.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, I'm going to go on record right now. I'm on, and I know this is going to be a hot take. Go ahead and blast me all you want, but I got a feeling, and I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel very strongly about this. The Detroit Tigers are beating Tarek Skubal on Friday night. That's going to be the one game in that series.
Okay, I'm gonna put $100 on it, and if I lose, you owe me $100. And if I win, I'll split the winnings.
Fuck that. What are you
Oh,
doing?
that's fair. That's fair
I'm just
for
saying.
me.
The storyline writes itself, and there is no shit in way. I shouldn't say that because it is the Tigers at this point, but I don't know, man. I feel like the Tigers are going to rise to the occasion as a statement against Tarek Skubal because that's what everybody's talking about Friday night's game.
Yeah, but no one's hitting right now. No one's hitting.
I understand
nobody's
that, Eric.
Keith ain't hitting. Dingler ain't hitting. Riley Green's out. The only one that's still hitting is McGonigal, because he's just. Yeah, I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. Honestly,
he's going. He should be. If he's not,
if he's not, it's rigged.
It's because he's wearing a Detroit Tigers hat. That's the
Probably.
only reason why he won't win Rookie of the
Probably
Year.
because he's 14 home runs, I believe, this year so far for a rookie. That's pretty good.
There's no reason why he shouldn't be winning. There's nobody out. There's no other rookie right now making as much noise and progress for their specific teams as Kevin McGonigal.
Yep.
But
What's he had 176 hits already this year?
Something
Yeah.
crazy for a rookie.
Crazy. Dude,
Yeah.
this guy is a phenom. This is a guy that we can build our future around. They need to lock his ass down for the long haul.
Oh, they
and
will.
around
Oh,
it.
they definitely will.
They
Well,
will.
here, I got a hot
they'll
take.
They'll lock down Max Clark and all that, and then they'll lock down Hope. That's going to come up next year, I believe. And there you got your 3 stars right there. And then you just need to add it in free agents. What do you want, Tim?
I got a hot take, and I'm just going to put it this way
Probably a chill take because it's not good.
I fucking know Chris Illich,
Oh God, here we go.
and he's a dummy, and I want him to sell this team. But I'm going to tell you, next year McGonigal gets traded at the deadline
That's not gonna
Holy
happen.
Oh,
shit,
wow.
Tim. Why would you say that? And
Wow.
Scott-
because it's Chris Illich.
I knew you were stupid, but I didn't think you were that stupid.
Scott's
It's
pissing me
Chris
off,
Ellis.
and I need him off my fucking screen if I can.
Well,
be honest.
get used to it because that's what he does to me every week.
Shut up, Tim. No one wants to hear your bullshit. Oh, motherfucker.
Turn my mic off, fucker.
Oh, you've been drinking all day today or something?
Maybe a little bit.
Go get the golf club. At least hit me with something that you have hit me before.
But yeah, no, I'm used to Scott pissing me off in the chats.
Oh, we'll talk about Mahomes in a
Everything.
little bit. We'll
Don't you
piss
be
you
talking
off.
about Mahomes.
We'll talk. We'll piss you off. See, Abe's already on the train too. I like it.
Yeah, everybody's shitting on me about Mahomes.
No,
all
they
the
ain't
time.
gonna trade McGonigal.
Oh,
He's
no.
he's the one we need, here. But I think in next year you're gonna bring up Hope.
They won't
he's
trade him
already-
until his rookie contract's up, and then they'll trade.
No,
him
they're
away.
gonna. They're
That's
gonna
what they
lock him down.
fucking do. That's what Chris Illich does. Every
Well,
time we
depends on
get
if
somebody
there's a
with talent
lockout.
here, they trade
Depends on
him
if there's a
away.
lockout or not.
That
next
is a
year.
good point too.
We'll see what happens if there's a lockout.
I've heard so many people say that Chris, like with this team, they're just a farm system for the rest of the league. All the great players get traded away.
We have a great farm
That's what they
system.
do.
Not
Yeah.
true. But
No, that's
speaking of
100%
Village
true.
and all that, we're going to shift over to the Red Wings. But I heard some news and all that. I heard Sider talk about Dylan Larkin, and it sounds like he might be the upcoming captain soon. And I could see that happening because, with the Dylan Larkin wanting to be traded and everything, and it don't sound like it's going to happen right away. He said they're a better team when Dylan's there. And I can believe that because you do need a center and you do need someone that can play and score and all that. So I wonder what's really going to happen with that. Is there going to be alternate captains like there was in 06 for There was one team in 06, I can't remember. They had alternate captains every other game. So that makes me wonder what's going to – I think Sider's going to be the new captain here soon with Dylan Larkin traded or not. I can see that.
Abe, what's your opinion on the whole Dylan Larkin thing? We'll make this transition to the NHL real quick. We kind of touched on it a little bit earlier in the program, but Dylan Larkin, I mean, you talk about the guy that's been kind of the face of the franchise for the last little bit here, goes out on social media, makes it publicly known that he wants to be traded from the Red Wings. And that, you know, there's one of the, it's one of those things where there's a line in the sand. You can agree with him, you feel bad for him because the Ilitches have not put a winning team around him, or you're on the other side of the equation where it's like, fuck you, where is your loyalty to this team, and why are you not doing more in the role of captain to facilitate everything? Where are you at with the Dylan Larkin controversy with the Red Wings?
Oh, he's got something to say. I can't wait to hear it.
You know, I think it's an organizational thing. I think he wants them to win as much as he wants to win. He doesn't see it in the front office. He wants to win. Larkin, he's not one of these guys, I think, just collecting a check. He genuinely wants to turn this around. But when your front office isn't making moves at the trade deadline, they're not doing anything, it's defeating. So I could see that in them. If they bring somebody in and things get the spark, and you never know if something could change. But I do think he's on his way out of there. And me, just as a media guy, when I go to Lions or Pistons, they've got PR people. Their front office greets you at the door. There is just a life in the front office. I went to a Red Wings event. It was like they just open the door, have at it, do whatever you want. And then you can see just if they're doing that to just media, I can imagine how the players feel, how this organization just does not care. They don't, you know, I don't know if you guys been to Allen Park, but it's just state of the art. You know, they've got employees on top of employees. They've got all type of buffet catering service. It's a great place to be. But when I went in the Red Wings locker room and their facility, it's just no life. So I feel like he feels like that, man. It's just nobody fighting to bring a winner here in Detroit.
Well,
he just wants out.
2024, Yzerman tried to get Steven Stamkos here and Anthony Mantha back to play. So that shows that he got the door shut on that because Illich. So like, yeah, so exactly. You're probably right with the whole media thing. So Illich is just, I think he's sinking more into the Tigers, but it's like, you need to sink more into both of them. Exactly. The Red Wings, Detroit's known for the hockey. Detroit's known for hockey town, the Red Wings, Yzerman, all the names. We all can agree on that. You know, the fact that 2026, me growing up thinking that the Lions are the number one team in Detroit, I would have never thought that growing up. None of us probably would have.
No.
It was always the Red Wings. The Lions were the worst team out of the three and all that. They haven't won a championship. And it's just like the fact that the team that is known for Detroit is the one that's on the bottom right now breaks my heart. But I'm happy the Lions are on top, and I'm really looking forward to the season. But, Tim, what do you got to say? You got something to say?
Yeah, I mean, it just keeps coming back to Chris Ilitch, and I'll just keep
at least get rid of the Red Wings. If you're going to put money into the Tigers, okay, but at least get rid of the Red Wings.
I want to see him get rid of both, to be honest. Like, it's time to sell these teams to get somebody in here, whether it gets two different ownerships or somebody else. Something needs to happen. Obviously, they haven't. Neither one of those teams have been successful since he's taken the team over. He's not following in his dad's footsteps. It's just time to make a move. You know what I mean?
I think Mr. I passed in 16, wasn't it? Like it was like early, something like that. Because I remember they putting the Mr. I on the jerseys. That's the last year we made the playoffs. And I think that was the year Larkin got drafted too.
Yeah, like it's time. You know, it's time to move on. Stop trying to make money. And unfortunately, like, what do we do as fans? You know, I mean, we can bitch about it all the time.
Like Abe said, we're going to keep showing up. It's original 6. We're going to keep showing up.
We're always going to keep showing up, but unfortunately, maybe that's not the right move. Maybe we sit back and don't show up, so they're forced to sell the damn team.
It's not going to happen.
I mean, but who knows? Because he needs to do something. Yeah, I mean, that was a good point by Scott right there. I like it. Revenge games are boom or bust. For some reason, Detroit always shows up for these games. Like, I mean, you look at it against the Rams with Matt Stafford, him coming to town. Detroit showed up for every one of those. Like Stafford just for some reason he can't win in Detroit. Like that's what it is. And
I don't know about that.
No, I mean, he hasn't been able to. You know what I mean? It's
So
what it is.
switch him and Goff in their careers. Put Goff when Stafford was there, and Goff and Stafford now. 2020.
Don't knock on Goff.
I'm not knocking on Goff, but I feel like that San Francisco game would have been a little different.
It could have been. I mean, honestly, if we're gonna put money, we'll get into that here in a second. But like, yeah, is Stafford better than Goff? Yeah, I mean, Stafford's one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, but I'm not knocking on Goff. He's good at what he does. But you got two different type of quarterbacks. You know what I mean? It's
kind of. They're both pocket passers.
They are, but
really
Stafford has the ability to escape a pocket where Goff doesn't. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different.
Okay.
It's a little bit different.
Okay. Let's just transition
real
to
quick.
then.
No, I don't want to transition to football yet because Abe had brought up a point earlier, he brought up the name of Duran earlier. I want to get into the Pistons a little bit because that's all kind of gone quiet. Abe, like we haven't heard anything about it. Like we heard he asked for a trade, he wanted a max contract, and then everything's gone quiet. Obviously, he hasn't got that max contract. What's going on with Duran? What's your feelings on Duran, and what's your feelings on the Pistons?
I think it's been insulting a little bit. You know, I think he feels insulted. I don't think the Pistons insulted him. He overvalued himself. He feels insulted, and his ego is going to get the best of him. I genuinely think he's going to sign that idiotic $9 million tender, take the chances of going into free agency next year. But people don't realize if he gets hurt, one more bad playoff run, that 30 to what was it? I think it's like 30 to 35 million they want to offer him now. That's off the table for every team. Every team. You won't even be close. So I think eventually he'll make the right decision. But when he does make that decision, I think it'll come with a little attitude. I think it'll come with a little grunting in the locker room, some bickering. So if I were them, the Pistons, I would just try my best to get rid of Duran and get as much as I can right now. Because if you look at the league, a lot of teams are making major moves. We didn't even come close. You know, we didn't come close. We didn't even scratch the surface. So we're not going to win next year. We may not win the year after, but I wouldn't put a lot into Duran right now. I don't have faith in him after the playoffs. Will he develop? Does he have a chance? Yes, but no, I don't see it.
And that was his downfall was his playoff performance because up into that, you know what I mean, the regular season performance that he had, would we have been talking if he carried that through the playoffs? We would have been talking like, yeah, sign him to a max contract. But unfortunately, he dropped the ball in the playoffs. I mean,
if he carried that performance, we would have been in the Eastern Conference Championship.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
we would not have lost.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying he's a bad player. He just doesn't fit what we're doing because Cade is such a dominant ball handler. We need someone when he's on the bench who can create their own shot. Duran may be good in a different system where they have all these other playmakers. We've got one, and he only got so much energy in the tank. So we need something else that can create their own shot, and it ain't Duran. And when I see Duran get the ball and try to call his little ISO game, I get scared as hell, man, because you don't know what he's going to do. You can't trust him with the ball when it's time to put it in the hoop. We need that type of player, even if it's not a dominant one. We need one who can be at least somewhat dependable where Duran is not.
No, I mean, and like you said, he proved that in the playoffs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he hasn't been the most dependable. And yeah, Detroit needs a little bit more depth. And hopefully they'll find that. Like you said, they didn't make any crazy moves this offseason. In fact, they let a lot of talent go, unfortunately. You know what I mean? So they're kind of going through a weird rebuild phase right now is kind of what I took from it. I don't know if you felt that same way, which is really weird after making it that deep into the playoffs. But coming up in the next season, you know what I mean? It's gotten a lot harder on this side. You know what I mean? The Eastern Conference, especially with some moves that were made. I mean, the Knicks, I mean, we're going to see them run it back, and now we got to deal with LeBron in the Eastern Conference.
Halliburton's healthy now.
Yep. So, I mean, the Eastern Conference has only gotten tougher. So, I'd like to see the Pistons make some moves still. I mean, there's still time, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, who knows who's left out there or what they can do or what they can pull together. But I do think Duran starts this year with this team. Yeah. I think he played a card that didn't work out too well for him, and no team was willing to give him that contract that he wanted. And I think it might have proved a point to him. So, like, maybe he has a little bit of a shitty attitude coming into next season because he didn't get that contract. But I think you're right. Anytime that a player asks for a trade like that openly, I think it's time to move on because of the fans going to get behind him. I mean, we're seeing that with Larkin right now, and chances are Larkin's probably going to be here at the start of the season. Are the fans going to get behind him? After you openly want to leave the city, our fans are diehards. You know what I mean? Like, if you say you want to leave, we're not going to support you anymore. You want out, go. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Do you got that same feeling, Abe?
I don't know, man. I kind of think some Detroit fans are marks. You know, they'll still they'll still root for him. They just want some goals. He'll give it to us. So I don't know, but I hope they don't. I hope you're right and they won't support him. But like we talk about the owners and they're not making moves, we support them. We still show up to these games. So
yeah, but they're going to support him in the locker room, though.
yeah,
like
locker room. Okay,
yeah,
locker room.
Mike Sider said, like, hey, we're better with Dylan Larkin on the team. The locker room's still going to try to like support him. So it's like you got to understand that it's a business at the end of the day. Like they're trying to they're playing a sport, and granted that's their job. You know, I don't feel sorry for pro athletes because they get an off season. You get to play the thing you love for your job. You know, we don't get an off season. You got a week off, last week, but they get a couple months off. I don't feel bad for them. So at the end of the day, in the locker room, they're going to support them, but don't sound like the owners or probably the fans aren't going to either because we're such passionate fans here in Detroit.
Maybe. I mean, Abe did bring up a point. I think there's a different level of fans, though. You got your diehards and then you got your bandwagons. You know what I mean?
Well, of course.
I think the bandwagons will support. I don't think the diehards will. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's there are a bunch of marks out there. I love that you brought up that word. You know what I mean? That's something that we're not used to on the show, but we do have shows. I know you cover a lot of pro wrestling stuff too,
yeah.
so I watch all your stuff. Yeah, like you guys get behind that because you guys work with Grind Time Wrestling.
Yeah, I work for Darren McCarty and
Oh no shit!
his wrestling league. That's my boss.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's looks pretty fun. Maybe one day I'll have to make it down to one of those shows. I haven't been to a show in a long ass time ever since I got out of the business. Yeah. But yeah, interesting enough. Well, we're almost to 7:00, so we need to get into these Detroit Lions because we're only a couple weeks away from the start of the season. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm pretty fucking excited to finally get some actual like regular season football back because I mean, we've been watching preseason. It's kind of been filling the void a little bit, giving us a little bit, little hit, a little excitement, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like I'm ready for some regular season. I'm ready to see some of these starters come out on this field because we haven't seen a lot of it, a little bit of it. At the same time, we've been scared because injuries have been rolling in. But I know out of the Detroit Lions camp today, Sam Laporta did report back to practice today. So that's good news. That's the piece that we needed. And they also worked out Kareem Hunt today. And let me say, he was a former Kansas City running back.
Here we go, Scott. We're going to hear about Pacheco and Kareem Hunt
they sign them
all year.
Here we go. That duo back there, along with Gibbs. Like, talk about one hell of a running back room. But Abe, how you feeling about the Lions so far? I mean, we're 2 preseason games in. Who your standouts been so far?
I've really like Derek Moore. I feel like he's going to complement Hutch so well. It'll disguise our horrible secondary we have right now because those balls are going to be popping up in the air and anybody can catch an interception next year if we can get some pressure on the quarterback. So I feel I'm really putting a lot of faith into him. The offense is top tier. I mean, there's no question there. We're going to put up points on everybody. It's going to be hard to stop us. And Gibbs, I'm really interested in seeing him take on the workload. He hasn't had that full number 1 status guy carrying the rock majority of the time. So this will be interesting. But at the same time, we're a rough practicing team. And I don't want Gibbs to get hurt because if he gets hurt, that affects a lot of the game, man. I know a lot of people have faith in you just said his name, the backup.
Pacheco. Yeah. Pacheco.
They got a lot of faith in his speed, but it ain't Sonic. Trust me. It's not.
No, it's not. It's a different type of back too. He's different.
Our receivers are great because of Gibbs. A lot of people don't understand that. DBs, they don't want to take a risk with Gibbs breaking it open. So you're going to get St. Brown in the slot getting hella catches like he does. And you take that away, that's going to be big.
Which brings up a point. I think this is going to be a huge year for JMO because I think they're going to really concentrate on the run game because obviously they've built that offensive line back up. And I think their run's going to be more prominent this year, mostly from Gibbs. And I think he's going to get the majority of the touches, and he's probably going to have over 300 rushes this year.
Oh, yeah.
And probably, he might get close to 2,000 yards. You know what I mean? Like that would be my call at this point in time. And, I know a lot of people are already calling for him to be offensive player of the year. I don't see it happening because he's wearing a Detroit uniform. And so for some reason they get shit on constantly, but I think it's going to be a big standout year for JMO because of all this, because it's going to open up those deep passes. Do you have the same feeling?
Yeah, I definitely do. But you gave a wild take with McGonigal. I'm still tripping off that trade take.
Yeah, no,
I got a wild take for you
told him
too.
to shut up.
Okay.
I got a wild take for you too. I believe Jared Goff is going to be in that MVP conversation this year. A lot of people they don't look at his stats. They just, I don't know why he has this aura of just a guy that can't get it done. When you look at his stats, he is top tier quarterbacking over the last 5 to 6 years.
I can tell you why they have that image on him. Because he lost that Super Bowl. That's why. That's gonna stick with him until he can win that game.
I'm telling you, I see him being MVP this year, or in the race.
Yeah, and I mean his name's been brought up, and you bring up his stats all the time, and I've argued this a million times. He has the most touchdown
passes in the last 3 years.
Yeah, and he's been the most accurate quarterback over the last 3 years. His stats are outrageous, and everybody shits on him. Like, not everybody. Like, we love him here, you know what I mean? But most people shit on him and say he's not that great because he's a pocket passer. He can't escape the pocket or something like that. But you look at his stats under pressure, he does well. You look at his stats overall, he's the most accurate quarterback in the league. He's thrown the most touchdown passes. Yeah. He's everything. He's everything that this team needs. Now, do we wish he was a little bit more athletic? Sure. Don't get me wrong. We all look at him, and when he runs 3 miles an hour, we all wish he had a little bit more, but at the same time, his arm makes up for it. So I can get behind you 100% because he's been in that MVP argument the last few years, and he could have been in that argument the year that Josh Allen won it. You know what I mean? Definitely he should have been there. He had better stats, but the reason, and I fall back on this all the time, the reason these guys don't win these is because they have a Detroit Lion on their helmet, and it's hard to give it to that team. They want to give it to that big, that known team, that superstar, you know what I mean? And for some reason, it's really hard to build a superstar in this town. We have them, you know what I mean? The fucking offense is loaded with superstars. I mean, you were bringing up that offense is elite. You look at Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, best running back in the league. Like, nobody can argue that kid's gonna have a breakout year.
Penei Sewell was on the number. He was
Penei
number
Sewell,
one on
best tackle in the league.
Can I fucking finish? He was number one on 25 and under players in the NFL.
Yeah, like he was
on the number. He was number one on that list.
Yeah, best tackle in the league.
Granted, it was not a great list because it was like, holy shit, you guys, whoever made that list was not good. But yeah, he was number one.
Well, they just broke out the list this year for the top players in the league, and we have 3 of the top 10. You know what I mean? Like, or 3 in their positions of the top 10, I should say. Like,
3 are in the top 10.
You got Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jared Goff. Jared Goff's the number 10 rated quarterback, which I think he's highly underrated in that position, to be honest. I mean, can we put some quarterbacks ahead of him? Sure. You know what I mean? Like, you'd put Josh Allen ahead of him. You put Lamar Jackson ahead of him. You put Patrick Mahomes ahead of him.
You're going to say it.
Well, you got to put him ahead of it. I mean, the guy's been a phenom since he came into the league.
All I know is he beat Patrick Mahomes in the most high-scoring game in the NFL, so that's all I'm saying.
He did, and that was an exciting game.
Those are facts.
Yep, that is a fact.
I don't know. There's clearly he's better than Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. But at the end of the day, like, I don't even want to. Hold on, hear what Scott say. If people like Tim hyped about Goff more and drilled over Mahomes less, maybe he'd get more recognition.
Exactly.
Damn it, Scott! You always got to bring up my love for Mahomes. But I mean, you even look at Burrow. Is Burrow slightly better? Maybe. Stafford, sure. Stafford had the best year of his career last year. Like, of course, we're gonna Stafford's probably better than Goff, but I still would put Goff in at least my top 6. You know what I mean? He's not 10 out of the. Like, who's better than them in a 10 spot. You know what I mean? Like, to be honest. Like, who are they putting up there? I didn't even look at the list.
Put Drake May up there.
Yeah, no, Drake May's not better than him. Like,
No
unfortunately,
way.
no. Drake May, Brock Purdy, none of those guys are better
They would
than
put
him.
Brock Purdy beat him in the NFC Championship.
I'm
just saying who they would put ahead of him. I'm not saying it's right.
The
but I'm saying
Lions
who.
defense gave up that game. Jared Goff didn't lose that game, and that's
No,
the
we
way
stopped
gotta
running
look
the ball in that game.
at it. Well, because you get behind, and that's one of the Detroit Lions.
We did not get
problems.
behind. We were leading in the. We're not going to.
Yeah, once they got behind, they stopped running the ball.
We should never stop running the ball, but
Yeah,
you're a
'cause
Mahomes
once-
fan, so I can't.
Once they get behind, they have the tendency to stop running the ball. Like, that's what the Lions do.
Okay.
Any team really does it, to be honest. You know what I mean? Once you're behind, you're going to start throwing the ball and try to move downfield because you need to make up ground. But yeah, I just don't see it. But yeah, you're 100% right. I do think Jared Goff should be in contention for that. And I think with the offense that they have this year, there's going to be a lot of argument for that. And I hope to see that it is. But at the same time, when you look at it, how many times has Dan Campbell got shafted on Coach of the Year?
True.
Like,
Oh,
like-
Jason left. That's not good.
Well, that's
Yeah,
his
that's
fault,
not-
though. That's his fault, though. I will say
Well,
that's his fault. The fourth downs that going forward on fourth down,
He's
that's
back.
not coaching. That's not natural coaching. So he gets a lot. He gets a lot of that.
No,
slack,
but
brother.
in 2024, when they made the championship game, come on.
Yeah, he was. He deserved it. He
Yeah,
deserved it.
he deserved that award, and I think that's why he keeps that chip on his shoulder. Jason, nice for
Yeah.
you to join us again.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
but yeah, I mean, like, so I don't have much faith that they're going to give any awards to any Lions players mostly because of Dan Campbell not getting it in 2024.
Right.
Like that was a joke, to be honest. Like, he should have been there. But you brought up a good point, and all of us,
See, with you saying
diehard
that-
Lions fans, hold on. All of us diehard Lions fans, we do bitch about him going about it on fourth down a lot. You know what I mean? Like, does sometimes it work? Sure. Like, sometimes it works, and we're excited about it. But at the same time, when you go for it all the time, teams expect it. So at some point, you need to stop doing it. You know, like,
Analytics say go for it.
sure. But when they expect us to go for it on every fourth down, it's not going to work.
Well, that's
because
why we're
all
not
they
trying fake
expect.
punts anymore, because they came out and everyone's like, oh yeah, they're going to do a fake punt now. So let's just send out the normal defense.
Until they try it again this year. I mean, you've been seeing it in preseason. They've been going for it on fourth down already. I've
Hell
watched it
yeah,
a couple
brother.
Times. Like, it's
Hell
it is
yeah.
what it is. But
Then it's also a loser mentality, man. Because if you look at the guys that win championships, they're not going for it on fourth down. They're good enough to get it in the downs that they're given. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they got to stop that and play like winners.
yeah, like 100%. Like, he needs to slow it down. Like, does it warrant it every once in a while? Sure. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, if you're in perfect position to do it, but going for it on every one when the other defense expects it, no. Like, let's back off of that, because you look at some of these games that they've lost last year. Some of it was on Dan Campbell's decisions. Let's be honest. And I love Dan Campbell. My wife loves Dan Campbell. She probably wishes that, I was Dan
Me too.
Campbell.
Me
but
too.
You wish I was Dan Campbell as well.
It'd be a lot
You know what I
better
mean?
to
Like,
deal with. A lot better to deal with.
Honestly, like, as soon as he put those
Might bite
glasses
my
on
kneecaps.
last
I have
year,
no idea.
all these women started melting over that man. And I do have to, like, give him credit there. You know what I mean? He brought a lot of our wives into liking this sport. So thank you, Dan Campbell, for making Sundays more enjoyable to watch football with our wives. Because they literally
I don't got one of
watched
those,
us
so I don't have to
forever.
worry about it.
Yeah. But, Jared Goff, he's going to be in that consideration. Hopefully,
But you don't
Dan
have hope
Campbell-
because he's not going to win the award because Dan Campbell got shafted in 24. So you're living in the past still. You need to get out of the past. You need to worry about the present.
Okay, Eric.
Am I wrong?
No.
I'm not.
Whatever.
So you just said no.
You're just talking and nobody's listening.
You just listened and you
so-
agreed with me.
Abe, other than Derek Moore, which I've been impressed with quite a bit so far throughout the preseason, I'm excited to see what he does on the opposite side of Hutch, because I think he has a little bit more. I mean, we had Mohammed last year, which was a stud last year. I mean, he got 11 and a half sacks, I think, throughout last season. On the opposite side of Hutch, I think Derek Moore has the ability to get even more of that, which will also open up for Hutch to get a lot more sacks this year and get a lot more pressure, because that defensive line in general, and there's some depth on that. I mean, I was watching that preseason game. You had O'Neal. He was getting to that quarterback almost every freaking every snap. You know what I mean? Like there's some depth on that line this year with names that we're probably not expecting. Like I almost expect O'Neal to make the team this year as one of those depth pieces because of how well he's been doing throughout this preseason. Like Derek,
who are you talking about?
O'Neal, you didn't watch the preseason game, so you're not gonna.
I did, but okay.
Okay, O'Neal,
the 6th round pick.
Yeah. Well, no, he was. Where did O'Neal come from? I think he was an undrafted free agent. Is where we got him
I think
from.
it was a 6th round pick.
No, we didn't draft him. I think we picked him up from somewhere else. No, I just watched the game and liked the guy when I saw him.
Should be in your notes.
But yeah, he's another one of those pieces. And you brought up the secondary. Yeah, we're all a little worried about the secondary, but the secondary throughout the preseason with the pieces that we have there right now have actually been holding their own. Now they're holding it against, third string offenses, like how are they going to do when you start bringing out those first team offenses? But there's a little bit of depth there, but at the same time, it's a little scary. Terrion Arnold gone, Reed injured. You know what I mean? Like
Terrion Arnold wasn't even that good of a corner.
Branch is looking. He's looking hopeful. Branch is.
He's onto the right path and definitely in the rehab, and I think he'll be here sooner than we think. Terrion Arnold was not a number 1 overall or not a first round pick at all. He definitely was not, or not in our scheme. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not that upset that Terrion Arnold's gone. Not because his legal issues and all that. I don't think he was that great.
No, but at the same time, when you look at Terrion Arnold, and I want Abe's opinion on this, like, was he the greatest in this fit? Probably not at the same time, but they didn't do anything to try to fill that position. And he got in trouble and got released from this team. And they didn't really fill that position in the offseason. So I think that's where we're all worried. It's not so much that Terrion Arnold was that great. You know what I mean? And we're dealing with other cornerback. I mean, you look at the 2nd round pick from that year, it was Rakestraw.
Yeah, he's definitely dealing with injuries still. And
yeah,
I think,
he played this past Sunday.
Yeah,
he was back on the field.
I think he'll be there. I don't know how effective he'll be, but I think he'll be there. And I think he might have a breakout year that he's been waiting for.
Hopefully. I mean, you have high hopes. Eric said it, so I wouldn't count on it.
I don't put too much on Terrion. Just because you figure a couple years ago, Hutch was hurt, 0 pressure. Last year, everybody had all day to throw the ball. You can only cover a guy for so long. Yeah. Other people weren't doing their jobs that made Terrion get exposed. I do believe, like you were saying, Eric, in a different system, maybe he could flourish.
Exactly, he could. Just like Slay when we drafted him in the 2nd round. Great corner. I wish I would have took Slay over that Arnold, honestly. Because Slay was he was a well-rounded corner. But like you said, no pressure all day to throw. Yeah, someone's going to get exposed, and it was a man playing one-on-one.
Yep.
He worked out with the Seahawks and all that. And if he gets to play with the Seahawks, I think he'll flourish in that system because their secondary is great.
He's on the commissioner's exempt list.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said if he gets to play. If you would have listened, Tim, you're saying Eric doesn't know shit.
This guy's getting.
I don't know what that button does, but I hit it.
You just took me offline, you jackass.
Well, good, because you don't need to be online. Now I know what that does, so fuck you.
So no Terrion, but that still doesn't, it brings up the question, the secondary right now, like what are the pieces that we're looking at? Like this is obviously, it's been an issue with the Lions for the last few years. It's been that secondary. You go back to the 2024 season, that was the whole reason, they got knocked out was that secondary, the injuries, you know what I mean? There was no depth in that position. Now we're looking at cornerback room is weak. Kirby Joseph, we don't even know if he's going to play. Brian Branch, it's promising, you know what I mean? But when's he coming back? Is it going to be October? You know what I mean? So even the safety room.
We could survive until October. We could.
And you got Rakestraw, who's made of straw. He breaks easily.
Yeah. No, if he can last us 4 weeks, that's fine. That's great.
And that's kind of what you're hoping for. But I think the biggest thing you brought up was that defensive line, and they're going to get a lot of pressure. And because of that, it's not going to give the quarterback a lot of time to pass the ball. So it's going to take a little bit of work off of those guys in the secondary. Now, you move to the linebacker room. We lost Anzalone. That was a big piece to lose. But at the same time, I was okay with it because he's getting a little bit older. He's getting a little bit slower, and I wanted to see a little bit more speed. Like, how you feeling about the linebacker room?
Linebacker, we got a stud. You know, so as long as you got one stud, your room's gonna be okay.
We got two studs though. We got Barnes and Campbell.
Okay, I throw Barnes in there too. I throw
I was
Barnes.
about to say
in there too.
Barnes is a stud too. I'm like, those two will be okay.
They will be.
And then
okay.
you got Rodriguez that's still like a 6th-round pick. Like, dude, that dude's been balling out since he's got here. I'll take those three linebackers.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take those two. You throw in Rodrigo. That's a
exactly.
bonus.
Exactly. You
So
have the other
solid.
two cover, and Rodrigo's, hey, run game. That's your go. That's your
Exactly.
thing. That's your thing. You see a hole, you fill it.
And stay healthy.
And I think Jack Campbell. I don't. If Aaron Donald comes back, which is probably going to happen, Jack Campbell might be in Defensive Player of the Year because last year he had a hell of a year, and people are recognizing it. I think he's going to have a better year.
Yeah,
that is his defense.
Yep. Definitely.
So any more points in these preseason games that you saw watching it? Any
I got a
standout?
point.
Okay, go ahead.
We need to fill that left guard spot. That left guard spot is there. That's why they worked out a couple players that were drafted in 2015 and 16 this week. And it's like, who's going to be at that left guard spot? That's a huge, who's going to be next to Sewell?
Yeah.
Because until Cade Mays comes back, Juice is going to be that center. I've kind of already seen Juice is going to be the center coming into the regular season until Cade Mays comes back. So who's going to fill that left guard spot? That is honestly crucial. Very crucial.
Well, we've seen Frazier, you know, they had high hopes for him in, you know, training camp, and they've been bouncing around a bunch of spots, but it hasn't really panned out in the preseason. Mahogany hasn't looked the greatest throughout the preseason either when he's been filling those spots. So, yeah, I mean, that is a little thing, but I still think they got some depth on that line. It's probably going to be Mahogany. It might be Borum. You know what I mean? They got ruined. They just signed another center today. I can't remember what the guy's name is, but they did sign somebody today.
Well, someone's got to step up because that left guard spot needs to be filled until Cade Mays can come back, because that was definitely – we filled that spot from last year, and then losing him has definitely been a big blow to that line. And honestly, I watched the game earlier, you know, first half and all that, and our rookie right tackle, he made some good plays, but he also made some bad ones. He got beat quite a bit, and I'm like, okay, well, that was one-on-one. I'm like, okay, you're learning. Happy you're out there with Radledge, because I've seen him out there too. But it's like, come week one, man, you got to step that up, man. We can't have that right side weak for Jared Goff, because granted, yeah, Penei Sewell's on the left, and that's your blind side, but we don't need, you know, Goff trying to scramble when he's not the quickest quarterback out there.
He's not, and we don't really have the Montgomery right now to pick up, you know, that block for him on the back end if somebody does get through. But
we got Pacheco that could, but how
he's
often
not
is he going to be
blocking nothing?
No, Pacheco's not a blocker either,
Yeah, I know,
bro.
I know.
Like,
Yeah,
neither one of those guys neither one of those are a Montgomery type blocker.
No.
Now, if they do sign Kareem Hunt, which might be the reason that they decided to bring him in to work him out, he does have the ability to block.
Then bring him on.
He's a bigger bodied running back, you know what I mean? So he could possibly be there. Maybe that's why they worked him out today. But that brings up a good point, Abe. That's a question for you. The offensive line with Cade Mays going down, obviously leaving a hole at that center position again, just like leading into last season once they had that hole with Ragnow. How are we feeling about it right now? Do you think they got enough depth in that position?
I think they got enough bodies, but at the same time, you know who I kind of trust, and I know he's not a player. Something about Drew Petzing that I trust. I trust his scheme. I trust he's gonna know our weaknesses, and he's gonna make adjustments. Last year, we didn't have the luxury of a very intelligent offensive coordinator, but I've got faith in Drew. I heard, our quarterback. Goff. I heard Goff in an interview talking about him and just his intellect. And I've been hearing a lot of guys talk about just how smart he is. And sometimes when you've got missing pieces, you can disguise it easily. So I've got faith that he'll do that. And our offensive line will be okay until May comes back and secures that spot.
I can get behind that. And you bring up Drew Petzing, and a lot of people are doubting him right now, especially, you know, the casual fan that doesn't pay a lot attention to a lot of football. But if you really go back to last year and you watch what he did with the Arizona Cardinals and look at the offensive output that team had, I mean, he made Jacoby Brissett look like an all-star last year, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, that guy was putting up yards, you know, and Connor in that position when he wasn't injured, you know what I mean? Like, the amount of yards that the guy was able to get, like it was the offense for the Cardinals last year was wild because every week throughout the football season, I do stats from every team. And like Brissett last year was absolutely insane. I mean, he had quite a few plus 400-yard games last year. And it was crazy that they were losing these games, but they didn't have any defense. Like the Cardinals are a dangerous team. Don't get it wrong. You know what I mean? The offense is dangerous.
Not now.
It's their defense. Without Petzing, and they lost Kyler Murray and everything else. But last year they were a dangerous team. They just didn't have a defense. And like I think Jason had to go let his dog out. He doesn't even have a dog, but
just get paid for nothing.
No, I know. Yeah, like that guy's freaking good, dude. Like, and he proved it last year in that position. So I'm excited about Petzing, to be honest. Like, looking at what he did with the Cardinals last year, I'm excited to see what he can do with actual offensive weapons. Now, did they have some last year in Arizona? Sure. They didn't have an offensive line. Let's be honest. But what Jacoby Brissett did, I mean, they got Marvin Harrison Jr. out there, which he hasn't really panned out yet, but he hasn't had.
He's okay.
He's okay. I mean, there was a lot of hype around him, but
there was definitely more than should have been and all that. And I think Petzing's going to flourish here with all the weapons we got with J-Mo, St. Brown, Gibbs. You got Pacheco here, like the offensive line's better, Jared Goff. Like, I think we're going to start seeing a little bit more of, I wouldn't say the Ben Johnson play calls, but about the same. Like, there's going to be some mix-ups and all that, and I think we're ready for that. Well, last year we were wondering where all that went, but we knew it was going to be different with Ben Johnson gone.
Yeah, and you really look at what Petzing really plays into a lot. He plays into the run game a lot, and he plays into a lot of tight ends. Yep. You know what I mean? So I see a big year for Sam Laporta.
If he can stay healthy. If he can stay healthy.
Well, I mean, you still have Conklin. You got Brock Wright still out there in those positions that can make that stuff move. And I see big years for them. So those are names to watch out if you're about to do a fantasy draft. And speaking of fantasy drafts, like, I brought this up earlier, like, because somebody was asking me why we haven't done one yet for our league. And it's like, we don't know how many people are still going to get injured this year. Genty went down yesterday. Jamar Chase went down today. I mean, we're looking
Jamar
at,
Chase is fine.
Did they come out and say that he's fine? Because he got pulled off the field with a knee injury.
He'll be okay.
So no word yet on Jamar Chase. He's just, did you draft him?
No, I'm not even any fancy league.
Okay, so you don't even know yet. That's why I haven't drafted yet, because there's still practice going on and people are still playing and preseasons and everything else, and we're losing players still. So yeah, those are big losses for both the Raiders and the Bengals right now. And I haven't got any word yet if Jamar Chase is okay.
They'll both be okay.
He wasn't able to walk off the field and he was holding his knee. So does not look good, Eric.
He'll be fine.
Unfortunately. Did you watch the injury?
No.
I did.
I can sense it. He'll be okay.
Okay. This guy's an idiot.
No, if I was an idiot, my name would be Tim.
No. Okay. I feel the heat between us today.
Yeah.
I feel violence coming.
There already was when you hit me.
What
are you talking about?
That is true.
It already got violent.
Detroit Lions. Abe. 2 weeks away from the regular season. Actually, about, 2.5 weeks, roughly?
September 13th.
I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore.
It's August 25th.
Preseason, we've gone through it. We know that Sam Laporta came back to practice today. That's a good sign. We know that Kareem Hunt worked out with the team today. I don't know if that's going to turn into anything, to be honest, but I could see them possibly bringing him in as the back, to help out in those positions of blocking. Another question I want to bring up. Did you see the new rivalry jerseys get dropped today? What's your thoughts on them?
They look like the Carolina loser Panthers.
Right, we're cosplaying as Panthers now.
Yeah, exactly. The Panthers suck. Why would we copy them?
Right.
And I'm just saying that because Jason's a Carolina Panthers fan.
I don't think nothing. I like last year's jerseys.
Yeah, the black ones. Oh, they were so much better.
The white.
They so much better.
Now they're doing too much.
Yeah, they are. 100%.
This reminds me of
copy the Panthers. Ugh.
Yeah, this reminds me of teal Pistons. Just stop it.
Oh, that's Eric's fucking favorite jersey.
I didn't like the teal. I didn't like the teal.
No, that's the one you liked with the stupid fucking horse logo.
No, I like the horse logo. I didn't like that one.
Oh, that was the stupid fucking horse logo.
I said to piss you off. I said to piss you off. I say
now you're trying to play coy. You're trying to play coy.
I'm not trying to play coy.
Yeah, no, you are.
No.
Like, shut up.
Who's my favorite Piston? You know who that is?
I don't know.
Exactly. So shut up, because you don't ask any questions about me because you don't care.
I don't.
Wow.
Exactly.
I don't.
Exactly.
We're getting real personal here today, and we need to knock it off and just keep
Bitch.
it on business, okay?
Business is Patrick Mahomes will tear his other ACL in week 3. That's what's going to
Why
happen.
you got to keep bringing up Pat?
Because I'm manifesting it. It's going to happen because I want to piss you off.
This guy is just something else. Today.
And then Justin Fields will lead him to a Super Bowl, and I can rub it in your face.
I've always liked Justin Fields. I didn't think Chicago should have got rid of
They
him.
probably should not have. But honestly, I got a question for Abe. With Kyler Murray going to Minnesota, do you think he's going to have a better year this year than he had in Arizona ever? Because I honestly, with that coach and quarterback friendly, I think he's going to thrive there. Honestly, I really do. Like, I think Minnesota is going to be the dark horse in the North. I don't think people are going to take them serious. And I think he's going to be, I think he's going to have a breakout year in Minnesota, just like Sam Darnold did when he was in Minnesota.
I would say that if it was any other quarterback, but I have zero faith in short quarterbacks.
That's fair. I did hear today that he told the head coach, he's like, I couldn't see over the line. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's not a good look, but it's like, at least he's honest. At least he's honest, but he is more mobile than Sam Darnold. And if Sam Darnold can flourish in that, I think he will. I think that just opens the playbook for Minnesota with the wide receivers.
Yep. The benefit that he has, he'll extend the play and get Jefferson open. That's what,
or
that's
Addison or Aaron Jones. And it's just, there's and TJ Hawkinson, there's so much there that he could throw to. That's going to be the difference between him and Darnold. I think like they're going to be
last year. Caleb wasn't the most accurate, but he extended the play and got big bombs, and that's what he'll do. That's what he'll do.
Exactly. And I think Kyler Murray could do that this year for Minnesota. And that's what, like, I think people are just writing Minnesota off. It's like, you got to keep an eye on them, I feel like.
You do. How do you feel about Chicago, though? Do you think they're going to keep that Cinderella story going?
They're going to go downhill. They lost a lot. They lost a lot of defensive, and they lost some offensive player, like offensive line. I don't think they're going to come back down to reality, and I think they're going to be good, but just not as good as last year.
Yeah.
7 of their wins were come from behind. I don't think that's going to happen again this year. People are catching on to Ben Johnson.
And then you got the Madden curse, so Caleb's on the cover, so he should be injured.
I hope so, because that dude can play ball, but he's just a different man. That's all I'm saying. He's a different man. But I think if I had to say it, I think we're going to split against Green Bay, we're going to split against Minnesota, and we're going to sweep the Bears because we swept them last year. I think we can.
Yeah. We definitely.
I really think we will.
That's because Ben Johnson's Dan Campbell's bitch.
Okay,
I'll say that out loud. But yeah, you bring that up, and also to play into the Bears, it's a strength of schedule thing because they won the North last year. They're gonna have a tougher schedule.
They are,
and they're gonna have to compete with that. And last year they had one of the easiest schedules in the NFL, aside from the Patriots, who went on to the Super Bowl and lost.
But last year they did upgrade the offensive line, they did upgrade the defense, but this year they lost pieces. So it's
they did. Like,
can they bounce back after losing them? And they don't really have an edge rush, so it's like their defense is going to be, I think, exposed because they're not going to have an edge rush. So that secondary is going to get picked apart, just like Aaron Darnold did when we didn't have an edge rush. Not trying to say names, but he was the one that got exposed when it happened.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to happen with Chicago because they don't really have a defensive line. As good as the other ones do.
Speaking of edge rushers, you mentioned earlier guys to look out for. One guy I did forget to mention, and I want people to just remember this name, Ahmed Hassanin. Just look out for him. I believe he's gonna make a big impact on our defensive line. I just gotta feel it.
I hope so.
He was doing good through training camp, and he did good in that first preseason game there. I mean, he did get that sack against Joe Burrow.
Ooh.
So like that was
a crazy work ethic. I know it.
He's got a motor that don't quit. He has a motor that don't quit.
Personally, and he tells me crazy stories about what he does in the gym.
Yeah, that kid is impressive, and I'm glad that he's going to get a shot this year because last year he ended up injured.
Okay, Jason, we can tell you got something to say because you're itching your beard and you're just moving around. What do you got to say about what we're talking about?
Just sitting here listening because I have commentary with the NFL, but it doesn't center around Detroit this week. I'm waiting until we talk about Cleveland.
Okay, we'll get in a second.
I'm looking forward to that, honestly.
But real quick, Dave brought up a good point. He's got a new idea for a new sport. It's called Vice Hockey. It's basically prostitution, gambling, and drugs, but done while ice skating. Dave, you're a fucking wild man, and I missed you. It's good to see you back on the show here. He's one of our favorite friends of the show here. He always has some random ass crazy shit to say. But yeah, Detroit, you brought up Chicago. We don't bring up Green Bay a lot here.
I think Green Bay is going to be the team.
You think
they're going to be number 4?
You think they're going to be number 4 this year?
I really do. Micah Parsons ain't going to be playing until about October. You know, they got a tough couple of games in September. I think they're going to be number 4 in the league in the North. I really do. I think Minnesota's going to come out of nowhere. Ben Johnson's going to keep them in the running, but I think Detroit's going to win. It's going to go Detroit between. I'm going to say Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago, Green Bay. That's what I think. I think Minnesota's going to come out of nowhere. Chicago's going to stay flat, and then Green Bay's just going to. I think they're just going to go down. With Micah Parsons right away, they're going to get on a losing streak and just not be able to bounce back.
Who do you guys think's the better quarterback, Goff or Love?
Oh, Goff.
Okay,
100%. Like we've had a bunch of Green Bay guys on the show, and they're not even sold on Love. So
they're worried about Love. So that's why I'm saying I don't think Goff is going to have as good as year or Love. And I think they're just going to be. They're going to be there because, last year, every team in the North had a winning record.
Yeah.
I just think they're going to be number 4 in the league. And then, the division. I really do. I could see that. I could see Detroit. I really think Minnesota's going to be number 2. They're going to be the dark horse because, like you said, Kyler Murray can extend plays. And then Detroit or Chicago's going to come down a little bit because they lost some pieces. They have a tougher schedule. And then I think Green Bay is just going to be a down year for them.
I agree.
It could be. It very well could be. I'll never count out Green Bay though.
You can't, but I could just see them having
a hell of a coach, and they always seem to be in the mix of things by the end of it.
But they lost Rashad Gary last year, and Micah Parsons going to be out, so that D line's not going to be what it was last year, and that was what complemented the linebackers
coming back.
Well, he will, but that's what complemented those linebackers and secondary so well. So if you don't have really good defensive line,
those linebackers are legit.
Exactly. But if you only have one guy you got to worry about, Micah Parsons is already hurt. So it's like, oh, okay. Well, the first month, four game, if you're 1-3 going into October, that's not a good look.
No, it's not. And I mean, I think you're a little high on Minnesota. I do think they're going to be good because I've always said they're a quarterback-friendly program, and Kyler Murray has the ability.
And who's their coach? Kyle
Shanahan, or not Shanahan. What the hell is his name? I'm trying to look at Dave's comment now.
Abe's looking it up right now.
Dave, Super Bowl Lions versus Bills. I think that would be the most watched Super Bowl in the history of the NFL, to be honest.
Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell.
I really think he's going to make Kyler Murray see his peak, and I think that I'm not.
And they could.
When Kyler Murray first got in the league in Arizona, shut up. When Kyler Murray first got in the league, he was very good in Arizona. When he had Larry Fitz, he had a better OC and all that. And I think since he has a better coach and OC, he's going to come. And he has Aaron Jones as a running back that can take pressure off him.
Maybe he's in legal trouble. He might not even.
That is very true too.
Yeah, that's another story of the NFL for another day, with people doing stupid shit when they're getting paid millions of dollars, and just do your fucking job and don't do stupid shit. But I want to bring up a good point right here, because you're bringing up Minnesota, and a couple of weeks ago I was on Let's Go, and I was doing I was a Lions fan. I was that aspect on the show, but I was on the show with 3 other Vikings fans, and not a single damn one of them were sold on Kyler Murray, and they were pissed because they were all JJ fans, and they thought JJ was the quarterback of the future. And I'm like, are you guys blind? This is coming from I'm a Michigan fan, and I didn't think JJ was
a good college quarterback. He's not a good NFL
I don't even think he was a good college quarterback.
It was good enough to win a national championship.
They ran the ball a lot.
You didn't see that throw against Alabama then.
Yeah, when you're running the ball a lot, it opens up for throwing every once in a while. But if you're not running the ball, I mean,
you don't know college football. Shut up.
Okay, Eric.
He
did great in college, and he's shit the bed.
Did you watch the game in 23?
Yes, I watched the game, and I didn't think he was going to translate well to the NFL, and he hasn't.
No, but he won him a national championship.
Did he win it, or did the whole team win it as a whole? I'm pretty sure the whole team won.
So he's a part of it.
Because Corum looked like the fucking running back of the future.
He had a good
hasn't been that great since he's been in the NFL
coach and Jim Harbaugh.
He did. But,
so to watch out for is Justin Herbert this year.
Hold on, you're making us fucking look stupid right now.
You're looking stupid because you're stupid.
Fucking. Jim Harbaugh runs the ball way more than he passes the ball.
He turned around the LA Chargers in 6 months
by running the fucking ball
and throwing it with Herbert.
Yes, but
and Herbert is a very good quarterback in this
when
league.
you run the ball a lot, Eric, you have the ability to open up the throwing game. That's why Detroit does really well, and that's why Jared Goff always stands out very well. JJ McCarthy is a shit quarterback. He did not translate very well to the NFL.
No, he did not translate good to the NFL, but he was a good college quarterback.
Okay, when they ran the ball a lot, they had a good running program.
Here we go, the running.
They had a good running program, which gave him easy passes. Let's be honest with each other.
Highlights of him in college. He did not. He made some hard
I watched him play through college. I did not think. Abe, what was your thought on JJ playing for Michigan?
He was solid, but I do think they were heavy run. But I was sold. I was the biggest JJ fan ever. But last year, Kevin O'Connell, what he did with Sam Darnold, for him not to be able to do the same thing with JJ, I looked at JJ a little different.
Yeah, but Sam Darnold was more of a talented quarterback than JJ. I will admit that.
Yeah.
Because you've seen some of the plays that Sam Darnold did at the Jets when he first got in the league was phenomenal.
True.
That's what JJ was doing in Michigan.
And maybe if JJ didn't have the ankle problems last year,
exactly, yeah,
it hurt his confidence.
It could have, it could have, and Justin Jefferson was all about JJ and all that. Made me think he was okay. It could work.
That one game he won them in the last minute, you'd have thought he was their hero.
Exactly, but it's like he could not translate well to the NFL, and a lot of that happens.
Yep.
There's only been out of the last 6 drafts, there's been 56 quarterbacks taken. Only 6 have panned out.
That is very true.
Can you name the 6? You don't even know.
So let's put it this way. You bring up a good point. So I shit on JJ because I don't think he translated to the NFL very well, but on the right team, he could have translated.
Yeah, he's a system quarterback like Scott.
He's a great system quarterback.
Yeah, I will give him credit in that aspect. He's on the wrong team for the type of player that he is. Now, if you put JJ on the Lions, JJ would look like a fucking stud on the Lions.
Maybe.
Let's be no, he would because they're a heavy run offense team. Like they run the ball a lot. You put him on any team that runs the ball a lot, he's going to get his opportunities and he's going to look like a stud. Now, Minnesota, they pass the ball a lot. Now, did they have a good run off? And Aaron Jones is a great running back. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they can run the ball, but it's still a pass heavy offense and it's a quarterback friendly program. But at the same time, even for him, it didn't work out being such a quarterback friendly program. And I've always called it that because we've seen Kirk Cousins go through there. He looked like a stud there. Sam Darnold went through there. He looked like a stud. And then JJ got there and he just kind of fell flat. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe it was the injuries. He's only played 10 games in the NFL in 2 years. Right. So, I mean, let's be honest, maybe I'm a little hard on JJ. And Eric is just, I don't know what. I mean, something is up with this guy today. Like, he is just all about trying to get he's just trying to get under my skin today. I don't know what it is. But, yeah, maybe I'm a little hard on JJ. But, unfortunately, he's lost that starting spot to Kyler Murray, which AB brought up. He's only, like, was he 3'7"? Like, the guy, right. Like, I mean, I don't understand how he can scramble. Will that give him some extra time? Sure. Justin Jefferson's going to get open more this year. Addison's going to get open more this year. You know what I mean? He's going to make some thrilling plays downfield. Is it enough to carry this team very deep? I'm not sold. You know what I mean? And like, I'm just not sold. And anybody that I've been talking to, I don't think they're sold either, to be honest. Like, I don't think Minnesota is going to be the come from behind and be the second place team in this division. I don't think Eric's giving Green Bay enough credit. Like, Green Bay is always in it every year. Jordan Love, even though I haven't met a Packers fan who believes in him, every Packers fan I ever met has said Goff is the best quarterback in the North. So that says a lot about how even Packer fans feel about Love.
Yeah. The Minnesota Vikings, they have the type of system where they need a pocket passer. Now, Kyle can fit in your pocket, but he's not a pocket passer. Not at all. Which JJ
fits that role a little bit better. You know what I mean? He's a little bit taller and stuff like that. But who knows? Who knows what the future holds for them? I have a feeling if they finish out last in that division this year, they're drafting a quarterback next year.
Yep.
Like it's a quarterback heavy draft in the off season or for next year's draft. So I have a feeling they would draft another quarterback because I just don't think the JJ with Minnesota has worked out. I think he gets traded and he goes to a team that he could possibly, possibly, who knows? He could end up somewhere that has a run heavy offense that needs a quarterback, and he could thrive there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if we've seen the last of JJ, but I just don't think it panned out the way that Minnesota thought it was going to pan out. I can see Jason going crazy, and I know there's some Cleveland shit. We got to get in some Cleveland drama here.
Who's the starting quarterback week 1 for Cleveland, Jason?
Deshaun Watson. Listen. Well, before we get to that, let me just run down real quick the preseason games that are on tap for this weekend. Thursday.
Oh, wow.
Pittsburgh. Oh yeah, I did some research this week.
Hell yeah, dude. I like it because we're getting ready to play NFL. We need to make a date to give fucking bitch boy Tim his dinner so we can start making our picks in a couple weeks, Jason.
I agree. All right. Thursday.
We gotta get that over with.
Pittsburgh at Buffalo, New England at Cleveland. Cleveland, I'm going to be talking to you in just a minute because that did me so well with Sacramento. San Francisco at the Raiders, Rams at Chargers. Friday, Washington at Baltimore, Falcons at Dolphins, Texans at Panthers, Tampa Bay at Jacksonville, Giants at Jets. Weird.
So 2 home games.
Yeah, right. Bengals at Eagles, Cardinals at Packers, Seahawks at the Chiefs, Saints at the Cowboys, Vikings at Broncos, and then Saturday, the big doubleheader. Detroit will be in Indianapolis, and Chicago is traveling to Tennessee to play the Titans. So our last batch of preseason games before the regular season starts, and let me just say, as a preface, I am not, by any stretch of the imagination, a Cleveland Browns fan. But let me tell you something. From the human element, I feel so terrible for the Cleveland Browns fans, knowing what they have to look forward to. In game 1 of this season, they're getting Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback. And this comes after some pretty controversial and, dare I say, bullshit comments that he made last weekend during the media scrum. And it's like, bro, I don't know if you forgot what the fuck you're doing for a living and where the fuck you're playing for and who is supplying your paycheck. But if I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, number one, I ain't going to a fucking game this year. That's number one. Number two, if I ever see you out in public, and I implore this to every single Browns fan, if you see that selfish sumbitch out in public, or if he's on the field, if you do fork over your hard-earned money to support this shit show that you got going on for a football team, then that's on you. But you need to boo this son of a bitch out of the stadium and send a direct and clear message to the ownership of the Cleveland Browns that this is unacceptable. The fact that you would even entertain the idea of starting Watson on game one as your starting quarterback tells me, as an outsider, what that ownership group thinks of your fan base. And Cleveland, if I were you, and I know it's hard, I know Cleveland loves their football. I am not dismissing that whatsoever. However, your ownership has demonstrated what they think of you by putting him in the most enviable spot on that team. I wouldn't go to another fucking game until the permanent switch was made. I wouldn't tune into one of their games on TV. I would boycott the entire fucking season until Deshaun Watson is benched, because that is the kind of behavior that is going to lead to the downfall of not only the Cleveland Browns, but it is going to start a ripple effect through the entire National Football League. You cannot have this guy as a representative of your franchise or as a league as a whole. That's just my opinion. I think what we saw, what we heard was, I mean, you want to talk about ego? Brother, this guy, I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm just saying he's not what the Cleveland Browns need.
Okay,
Vinny is going to come on here in a little while, and he is a diehard Cleveland fan, and he has told me for weeks, this guy's a cancer. Just wait, it's coming to a head. Well, it came to a head last weekend. And for Vinny and any other fan of the Cleveland Browns, let me just say, I'm sorry.
okay. So I'm not sticking up for Cleveland or Deshaun Watson or any of that, but okay. So you have Shadur Sanders that has not been playing great in preseason. You have Deshaun Watson that you even said is talented. So what maybe you know who made that call was the head coach. Head coach said Deshaun Watson is giving us the best opportunity to win. What if they're doing a trial because their first 2 games are away? Their third game is home. Their home opener is third game of the season. Maybe they're trying to see what Deshaun Watson can do, and say he leads Cleveland to 2-0. I will, if that happens, Cleveland will welcome him with open arms again. Yes, they would. Yes, they would. They would. They would. They would. They would. They're dying for a winning team, and if he led them to 2-0 for the home opener, Cleveland would welcome him with open arms because they're on a hot streak. They're on a hot streak. But if he goes 0-2 or 1-2, and then he goes in the home opener and plays like crap, okay, let's put Shadur Sanders in there. Let's see what he's got. That's what I think could happen. That's what I think is going to happen. They're avoiding the home boos because they booed him off the field when he tore his Achilles and all that. And yeah, he has a big ego. I will admit that. But I think that's what they're trying to figure out. If because even you said it, he's more talented than Shadur Sanders. Shadur Sanders was not that great of a college quarterback. Yeah, he has the last name of Deion Sanders, but I think they're trying to see who gives them the best opportunity to win. And if Deshaun Watson can get them to 2-0 or 1-2 and then win the home opener, they're going to stick with Deshaun Watson. I think if it goes 0-2 and then I think they're going to make that change week 3. Hey, Shadur Sanders got the starting spot. 100%. I could see that. It's not great what they're doing, but you can't blast the ownership for what the head coach is making. You're paying this dude $280 million, in his contract. You're wasting money. So you might as well see what can happen. Unfortunately, that's the name of the game right now. I'm not sticking up for the guy because he's not. And personally, I don't know him, but I don't think he's a great guy. But if he's talented enough to get Cleveland to 2-0, Cleveland's going to welcome him with open arms because they don't have much to cheer about right now.
I respect that point of view, and I respect your opinion on this. I truly, truly do. However, I think the damage is done.
It probably is.
I don't give a fuck if they are 2-0. I don't care if they opened the season 4-0 on the road and they came home for week 5 as their home opener. The fact of the matter is, I think the damage is done between the fans and between Watson. He has opened his mouth one too many times to the point. Listen, Cleveland is a blue collar town, much like Detroit, and we take this shit very, very seriously. Just like Cleveland does, especially Cleveland, because they haven't had a pot to piss in quite some time. They haven't had a whole lot to get behind. And to have this guy who they are paying a shitload of money to be their starting quarterback, to turn around and throw shade on the fan base the way that he did. And listen, I am not a Cleveland flag bearer by any stretch of the imagination. It is what it is. But I'm reading the comments, I'm hearing the media, I'm seeing what's going on, and I'm like, no, man, they're not. It just isn't going to matter. There will be a contingent of that fan base that will forgive him if they do go 2-0 and they come home for week 3 2-0. There will be a contingent of the fan base that will forgive and will give him a standing ovation. But I'm here to tell you, the first fucked play, they're going to boo him right out of the goddamn game. There is no wiggle room between Watson and this fan base right now, from my estimation. I don't think it matters, if I can be honest with you.
I didn't mute you. I didn't. Mute
I
that was
muted
you,
myself
motherfucker.
before I got up. I thought Eric muted me because he's been playing that game all night long. And did you say Vinny was going to jump on the show, or is he coming on at some point?
At some point down the line.
Oh, okay, down the
And I
line.
know
Okay.
he wants to talk
Before I
about
get into what I have to say, I want to hear what Abe has to say about all this.
I look back on what Jim Harbaugh said. A lot of people, when they interviewed him, they said, "Why didn't you want to go to Cleveland?" He said, "Because the owner had wanted too much control." And that's what he didn't like about the Cleveland
Just like Jerry
situation.
Jones.
Yep. And so I think that this is an owner's decision. I feel like his ego is pissed off. 230 or 80 million. He's like, you're going to play this guy. I'm going to see what he's got. And even if he doesn't pan out, you still set yourself up for more early draft picks. You got a brand new stadium coming in 2029. This is a win-win for whatever the hell Cleveland wants to do. You know what I mean? You put him in, you don't put him in. You keep Shador on the back burner. You still got these fans, because I'm not the biggest Shador fan. I feel like Eric, he didn't blow me away. I didn't see preseason like, oh,
It was
he's the
his
next.
last name. It was his
Yeah, it's
last
his
name
last
that made
name.
him.
But what makes sense is this money, and Shador brings in probably top 3 money out of any player in the NFL. And that owner, he's going to keep Shador on the back burner, protect him, keep the fans hoping he might be the hero. You put him out there early, they abandon ship. You drop his value. You can't trade him. So I don't know, man. Cleveland's a shit show. They'll always be a
Because
shit
then look
show.
at it. If Deshaun Watson plays like ass, you're like, okay, we're going to make a quarterback change.
Yeah.
And it gets the fans hoping and everything. And next thing you know, they're still showing up.
Exactly. Whereas if you did the opposite, you put Shador in and he failed, they'll feel like, oh man, now we got to go back to Deshaun. So
Exactly.
I understand their decision.
Rip the Band-Aid off right away, then wait until later.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you got little Dylan out there just prancing around, you know? You do something with him too.
Cleveland's Cleveland, man. They're gonna be a shit show until they sell the team. Period.
Well,
Exactly.
Same with the Bengals. They're gonna be like, they don't want to spend money. The cheapest franchise out there. Until they sell it, it's gonna be kind of a joke.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. And I was going to jump on this thing and steel man this and say, like, I think it's the owner, to be honest, because you're paying a guy, what is it? What is the number? Is it 230, 280? I've heard those
230. I think
numbers.
it's 230.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's 230.
it's a lot of money.
You're paying a guy $230 million. At some
All
point,
guaranteed.
yeah,
All of it.
all of it. At some point, you're going to play the guy. You know what I mean? And he got injured the last time he was out there. You're going to play him. Now, is he the most likable guy in the NFL? No, not at all. Did he do pretty well down in Houston?
He did. When
He
he
was
got
incredible
to
in
Houston,
Houston.
yeah, he was pretty good in Houston. Led him to a couple playoff bursts and all that, and it was looking good down there. Then after all that scandal came out of the massage parlors and everything, went downhill. Never could bounce back.
We've seen that up in New England. No issues up there. You know what I mean? So who knows? Do I like the guy? No. You know what I mean? Like, does he have a bad attitude towards the team? Was that press conference a little wild?
Yeah.
Sure. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely wild. Should the fan base get behind him? Probably not. But at the end of the day, they're paying the guy $230 million to play football for this team. They're going to have him play football for this team, regardless. They need to get a little bit of their money back out of it. Actually, I got Jason right now because I wanted to see if we can get Vinny on for like 5 minutes because I want to hear from a Cleveland fan and how he feels.
Yeah, we'll
about
hear from
this.
him eventually.
But yeah, like I'll steel man this and go. I understand on an ownership aspect. You're paying a guy $230 million. You want to see what he can do. Do I like the decision? I don't really have much say in it because I'm not a Cleveland fan, and I don't think there's a lot of them out there because that's one of the fan bases that you don't see a lot of is Cleveland fans. But the guys who are Cleveland fans are passionate Cleveland fans, and yeah, they're pissed. A lot of them are standing behind Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah,
like did he do horrible last year? No, I mean he had some high points for last year, but that team's wrecked. But at the same time, they had a pretty decent draft this year. You know what I mean?
They had a great draft.
Yeah, they had a pretty good draft.
They're coming back, a hell of a linebacker. You know?
Yeah. Like it's they have a good team rolling down there. I think their biggest enemy, like Abe said, is ownership. You know what I mean? Like that's their biggest enemy. Same thing in Dallas. You know what I mean? Jerry Jones. I've thought for the longest time Chicago had those same issues. Ownership gets in the way of things. Now, did that change last year with giving control over to Ben Johnson? Sure. You know what I mean? But we have these teams out there that ownership becomes an issue. We're seeing it in Detroit. I mean, we're bitching about the Illiches throughout this show. You know what I mean? Ownership stepping in the way of the team becoming, good. And I think Cleveland is one of those, but at the same time, I'll be the steel man here. Do I like it? No. But you're paying the guy $230 million. At some point, you're going to start him and see what he does. Scott brought up in the comments, he said it was a sham. They're going to start him on the road, and if he goes 0-2, they're going to start Sanders at home. So, no harm, no foul. You know what I mean? By the time you get him home, they'll have Sanders out there on the field. But like Eric said, if he goes 2-0 on the road,
you're going to keep
there's going to be a lot of fans that forget about the fact that he's not the greatest guy on earth, and they're going to get behind him.
He's winning your football games.
Yeah, so he's winning your football games, so they're gonna get behind him and they're gonna support him. You know what I mean? And I could see that too. It's a weird situation down there. Would they start 5 different quarterbacks last year? It was either
plus
4.
a 40-year-old.
Yeah. I mean, don't knock on him. You know what I mean?
He did well.
He did. And then they traded him to the Bengals, and he did pretty okay there. And he's still there. So, he'll be filling in for Joe Burrow once Joe Burrow gets hurt this year, because they didn't add to that offensive line either. So it's only a matter of time before Burrow goes down. Yeah. But that's another team, the Bengals, another owner that kind of gets in the damn way. You have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and you can't seem to win the damn game. You know what I mean? Same.
Unfortunately, guys, I wish I could stay with you all night. I got a WNBA game to cover in about 5 minutes.
Gotcha. Abe, I appreciate you real quick before you jump off.
For covering WNBA.
No, man. Actually, I dig
hope
your
Detroit gets a team again. I hope Detroit brings a team again.
They are bringing one back.
Yeah, we get it in 2029.
Okay, good.
Yeah. No, I dig your WNBA coverage, because that's usually when I catch most of it, because I don't have cable, so I don't get to watch a lot of WNBA. So what I do see is from you. I said at the beginning of the show, I see you more than sometimes I see my wife, because I spend a lot of time online. But before you jump off real quick, let everyone know where they can find you, Abe.
You guys can find me all the time on the Holy Podcast. Myself, Chuck Jordan, and everybody else on the crew. We started as wrestling. Now we're all sports, everything. And then you can catch me live and in person every Thursday night with Darren McCarty at his wrestling league called Grind Time Wrestling, the fastest rising professional wrestling company in America. I put a stamp on that. But yeah, every Thursday at the Brewster Wheeler Center. That's the same facility that Crunk Gym is in. We're right beside them, putting out great sports entertainment. But and everything else. ABE from DET. Follow me everywhere. Like you said, I'm covering everything now. Everything.
All right, man. And we really appreciate you jumping on the show with you. It's been an enjoyable show, and I'll stay in touch with you, bro.
You guys got to come on my show next time, man. Come on.
100%,
let us know.
100%.
Let us know.
Exactly.
We got a lot of stuff to talk about, especially when it comes to the wrestling aspect of it. So I've talked to you on the side. So get a hold of me. We'll line something up. We'll get it going, and we'll stay in touch. We'll get you back on at some point too, and we'll get on yours.
All right. See you guys.
Appreciate you, man.
All right.
Is Vinny available? I want his aspect of this.
He is not available, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Well, hit that horrible music so we can get this horrible segment over with.
Oh, man, I really want to hear Vinny's aspect of it.
We ain't going to get it, so we're going to hear this golf.
Hit it.
It's that time of the show. It'll be sweet and short. Here's Tim sharing with the 2-man those who scored.
This is Tim's 2 Minutes Golf Report, brought to you by the Sports Road Podcast on the PFC Entertainment Network. This past weekend, we had the BMW Championship. The season's coming to an end, boys. So here pretty soon, we're not going to have any golf reports, and you guys are going to be sad.
Yes.
But Wyndham Clark won this thing at 17 under. Patrick Cantley finished at second. Rory McIlroy in third at 13 under. We had Woodland and Morikawa finish out with Goddard in fourth. We had a two-way tie at 7 with McIntyre and McNeely. And then ninth, we had Bridgman. And then a two-way tie for 10th with SJM and Brennan. Now this leads us into the final big tournament of the year, the Tour Championship, the FedEx Tour Championship. Now, who are you putting your money on, Jason? You're going to go with Cam Young?
Cam the Hammer. Yeah.
Cam the Hammer Young, he's going with. I got to put my money on Scotty, man. He's been playing pretty hot throughout this thing. And, you know, he's already coming in ranked number 1 in the world. But I know they did. I think they changed the playoff, like the rules this year. Like, usually the number 1 player gets a huge handicap rolling into this thing. I don't think that's the same this year. So it's kind of up in the air. But I always put, I mean, it's easy money to put your money on Scotty. Fuck, why am I having a brain fart? Scotty Scheffler. Like, where's my brain going? Scheffler's easy. Cam Young, been a hot golfer this year, though. Like, that guy's got one of the brightest futures in the PGA Tour. But speaking of golf news, real quick, I want to bring up, because I know we talked about this a little bit last week, Jason. Live Golf. They canceled that. I think it's done, man. Bryson put out something on his all of his socials today, kind of showing all his championships he's won in Live, and kind of said memories made, I'll always remember, you know, some shit like that. And it kind of had a feeling like even he was ready to step away from Live Golf. So, like, I think Live might be over, and it's kind of sad to see in a way, even though I didn't pay much attention to it. It gave opportunity to other golfers. It's kind of like WWE versus WCW. You know what I mean? You have 2 big events. You know, you want to see that. Scott said he's got passes for the Ally. I've never been less excited in my life. Scott, get over your shit. It's the Ally. You're not going to be that excited. Maybe, I think Block's playing in it, possibly. Kind of root him on. Ally's not that exciting. I think it's a senior tour. You get some old guys, but no, hold on. We'll put all my money on John Daly, who was at Meyer and Davison tonight. Could have went and got something signed from him, which I would have went and done, but I had to record this show. But yeah, I think Live is done, Jason. I really do. I think it's done. I think most people are leaving. Even though they secured some funding next year, I think all their top stars are leaving. And I think what Bryson put out today was a pretty clear sign that he's pretty much done too. So I think the PGA Tour is going to get a lot more interesting next season. I know we're wrapping it up this season, and it's going to be sad when the golf report goes away for a few months. But I think that's about the time that I'm going to be launching the golf show here on the network. So you'll be prepared to look forward to that if you are a golf fan. Obviously, Scott's not, Jason's not, Eric's not. So none of you guys will be tuning into me talking about golf every week. But I will be.
I'll tune in. I just don't know much about it.
That's a good point. Maybe I could teach you something.
Let's see.
Possibly.
Listen, in all seriousness, no, that it is a shame for the sport of golf, because I'm going to be straight up. Go ahead and cancel me if you want, or try to. You won't, so just don't. But the PGA, if I can be honest with you, really needs to get back to reality. Like, the way they position themselves, like they feel like they are the end all be all of all of sports. And we see that when we go to different tournaments and different things, even trying to share any footage, like they instantly flag it, and not just us, but they will flag anybody and have that shit pulled down. My thing is, and this is not disparaging on the sport of golf, please understand that. But when you're looking at the sports in America, by and large, not a lot of water cooler talk about the PGA. It's about the NFL, or it's about MLB or NBA or whatever. My thing is, if you want to get more eyeballs on the sport of golf, you need to make yourself more accessible to potential fans, which equals potential added revenue. Now, the live thing, I thought on the surface was a great idea because you gave more athletes an opportunity to make a living in a sport that they are passionate about. You used the example of WWF and WCW. Nowadays, we would take WCW out of the equation and use AEW or Ring of Honor or one of these other smaller promotions because it gives people that opportunity to make a living in their chosen profession. There's nothing wrong with competition. Competition makes the entire entity that much stronger, bigger, more viable. But PGA, I don't know. I don't know all the specifics, but it kind of seems like they suffocated the progress of live golf in some way, shape, or form, whether it's enticing live's biggest stars to come back to the PGA or kind of positioning yourselves against sponsors and things of this nature. It's a goddamn shame, if I can be honest with you. And I feel bad for those golfers who were relying on a career with live that aren't going to be invited to be a part of the PGA, or they don't have the millions of dollars to donate to get a spot on their roster or what have you. I think PGA needs to, quite frankly, calm the fuck down and be more accepting of new fans, new players, new revenue, and get back to some sort of reality. Because the way you're positioning yourself, man, at the end of the day, financially, you're still at the bottom rung, bro. Like you are at the bottom. And I don't know, man. As business people, Tim and Eric, you know this. I'm not going to shy away from at least entertaining an idea that would produce more attention, eyeballs, potential revenue for our show. So why would the PGA do this? Because they think that they're better. They think that they have the stranglehold on it, and you do, but you're never going to grow if you keep strangling out the competition or the opportunity for more people to make a living at this.
And I will steel man you on that. They're starting to do that, and unfortunately, it hasn't hit the aspects of us yet. Because yes, you're right. We showed a clip of not actual golf being played, of just Rory, winning the Masters that first year, and they instantly wiped us. I've heard similar, stuff from Vinny where he just showed a clip of a bird, which just so happened to be, part of a PGA progress or a program, and they wiped them. The PGA needs to make changes, and they have made some. They've given some ability to players to show some of their own footage on their YouTube channels up to a certain amount of time. You know what I mean? Which is bullshit. You know what I mean? Like it is bullshit. Like you should be able to show stuff. If you want people to cover stuff and grow your sport, let us show a little bit of footage. You know what I mean? Like if we're not showing the whole match and we're just showing occasional highlights, let us do it. We're helping you grow your product. Now, you talk about golf being at the bottom. Now, I do have to say golf is one of the fastest growing sports in America. The youth is getting behind it. And it's not because of the PGA Tour, it's because of YouTube golf. And let's be honest. Live jumped on that bandwagon, and they allowed their golfers to go do all this YouTube golf stuff and do all these YouTube golf tournaments and all this other stuff with no repercussions. Now, the PGA Tour has suspended people indefinitely for playing in these tournaments. Wesley Bryan, I bring up his name perfectly. He played in a YouTube tournament that just so happened to have live golfers behind it that Live Golf sponsored. It was a YouTube tournament, but Live Golf helped put it on also, and he got suspended indefinitely from the PGA Tour. That's a shame. You know what I mean? PGA, I know you're trying to stay with the history of the sport, and you're trying to keep it exactly how it's always been, but at some point you need to grow. Golf is changing. YouTube golf is taking over. You look at the success of Good Golf, Rick Shields, some of these bigger names of golf, Bryson DeChambeau, one of the biggest names in YouTube golf. You know what I mean? Bob Does Sports. Like, these guys are taking over golf and they're helping grow the game because of this. Jump on this bandwagon. Now it sounds like they might be partially jumping on this bandwagon to an extent, you know what I mean? But they need to fully jump on it. So let's be honest. Let us show your clips. Let us grow this game. I would love in my clips to be able to show highlights from your tournaments without my shit getting completely knocked down instantly. Like, that is stupid. I'm trying to grow your game. I love golf. I do. Like, it is one of my favorite sports. Now, I know a lot of people have an issue with watching golf. They say it's boring. They probably don't fucking play golf. Let's be honest with each other. If you play golf and you spend a lot of time on golf, you have the ability to watch golf and you get excited. Is it okay to yell for if the person's in the backswing asking for a friend? Yes, Scott, that's 100% okay, because you already know it's going to get sliced. I mean, it's instantly. I've played golf with Eric. He sucks. I've never played golf with Eric.
Never played golf with me,
but I can only imagine that you slice the shit out of the ball. So whoever's in that other fairway off to the right of us, watch out. I do it sometimes too. But let's be honest. PGA, you have an opportunity right now. You just killed Live Golf. We saw that happening. Eventually, the Saudis were going to pull their money and put it somewhere else. Now they're moving it into fighting. That's the direction that they're going. It's probably more profitable for them in the long run. But at the same time, learn from your lessons, why all those people left to begin with. Matt from Don't Know Grit just said he plays golf, the only sport that he's absolutely terrible at and still enjoy it. 100%. You know the thing about golf, that the reason why it's one of the fastest growing sports in America is the fact that anybody, any age, can go out and play this sport. You know what I mean? My 15-year-old goes out and plays. He's better than I am. You know what I mean? I'm at 42. I can go play. I play with people that sometimes are in their damn 70s and they're still playing this game. Everybody can play this sport at any time. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be good. You can enjoy it. If the beer is cold, it's an enjoyable round. That's all I'm saying. So PGA, jump on the bandwagon. Stop trying to just keep shit kosher the way that you like it. You know what I mean? Because it's historical and we got to stick to traditions. You know what I mean? Like, get off that fucking bandwagon. Jump on the bandwagon of trying to get youth involved in the sport, because the youth movement behind this sport is growing. It is becoming very popular. Now, these kids at school, it's not an embarrassing thing to say that you play golf. Like, people are behind it because people watch these YouTube golf. Life is YouTube, bro. Like, let's be honest. Like, all these kids, they don't watch TV, they watch YouTube, and they watch YouTube golf. Like, so it's a cool thing to play golf now. When I was growing up, golf was not a cool sport. Nobody talked about playing golf. I'm sure it was probably the same thing when Eric was growing up. Like, nobody played golf. A little bit. You know what I mean? Jason, you can probably attest to that. Like, golf was not the cool sport to play. It was football, baseball, basketball. Now you're cool to play golf because of YouTube golf. So PGA, jump on that and try to play into that a little bit, and you'll become one of the big, at least 5 sports in America. You're never going to overtake the NFL, NBA, MLB, or NHL. But at the same time, like, you have the ability to grow, because you could take your 4-year-old out golfing. Your 70-year-old grandfather can go out golfing with you. Your wife can go out golfing with you. Anybody can go golfing at any time, so everybody can relate to this sport. There's no age limit on this sport. I mean, you got guys who go out and play in these majors that are in their 50s and win it. You know what I mean? Like, it's open for anybody. It's a hell of a good sport. It's a lot of fun to play. It's enjoyable. PGA, just jump on it. Matt also said it's always some 7-year-old power walking, no golf cart that plays through my group while we have a beer and watch them tee off. I mean, I could do that. Like, yeah, there's some old guys who can fucking really hit the ball still. Like, it's fucking amazing to watch, and they'll be fucking 10 strokes under you before you know it. Like, it's a crazy sport. It's a lot of fun, but that was Tim's 2 minutes of golf here on the PFC Entertainment Hour of the Sports World Podcast. Blah, 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 blah. I just went on. That was like a fucking 9-minute golf report talking about how much the PGA sucks with them not trying to adapt to the times.
So I'm sorry.
No, but you bring up a good point. The PGA fucking sucks when it comes to adapting to new times and trying to grow the sport. Like it's like they don't want to fucking grow the sport.
Right.
Let's be honest with each other. And they need to grow the sport. But a couple programming notes. Next week, September 1st at 6:45 p.m. Eastern, we have the NFC North preview show. So tune into this one. This one's going to be a lot of fun. Awesome. We're going to have guests from all the different teams. So there's going to be a lot of possibly shit talking going on with this one because fuck the Bears. Fuck Ben Johnson. Everybody else is all right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't expect much. I mean, Eric's turned into a Vikings fan for some reason. But on top of that, we still have I think we're like 130 followers away from giving away the Kirby Joseph autographed mini helmet on TikTok. Go to our TikTok page, follow us. We're only like 130 followers away from giving that damn helmet away. I am ready to ship that thing out to one of you to be sitting in your house somewhere, and you guys can take on that curse. Because let me tell you, I figured out something this week. We are cursed. Kirby Joseph, we don't even know if he's going to play again. We're giving away his helmet. I tried to give away a Sam Laporta autograph rookie card, which is still sitting down there, and he got hurt. Now he came back to practice today, but who knows what that means. And then now all of a sudden we're giving away the Dylan Dingler autograph baseball on Facebook as soon as we hit 1,000 followers, and he's went like 2 for fucking 47 over the last one. Like he just started sucking.
Not that bad, but
we started giving that thing away. So we are a curse. So somebody needs to take these cursed pieces from us. So follow us on TikTok. Once we get to 1,500, we will be giving that thing away. We're getting super close. I can't wait to do that. Follow us on Facebook. Once we get 1,000, you can take home that autographed Dylan Dingler baseball. And then, yes.
And
Jason, what's your programming notes?
We got ball game. What's up, Eric?
before we get into that, the Big Ten is passing a rule today, and I believe the SEC is following it, where if you declare for the NFL draft, you cannot return to college to play. They're passing that rule today.
That's interesting because there's two players.
Yep, that are doing it, and that's why they're doing that. That's why they're making that rule today.
Interesting.
I believe the SEC is following that. You cannot play at those schools. You can't play at the Big Ten or the SEC. You can go to other schools, though. So I think the other schools will follow.
LSU is in the SEC, is
LSU,
it not?
Yep.
Okay, because that's the school in question. That's the one that these two players were leaving the NFL
to go to LSU. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. We're going to do some research on that. We're going to circle this back till next week because I want to dive into this. This is big news.
We were talking about this last night on Catching Up with Cody. So let's dive into that more, and we'll bring this up next week on next week's show. Like it is an interesting story. So we'll have to see how it plays out because this is pretty big when it comes to, college compared to the NFL, because a lot of these kids want to stay in college to make more money than they will off rookie contracts in the NFL. So there's a little bit of, I think, a power struggle between NFL and college right now.
The Big Ten and the SEC are doing the right thing.
Yeah. That is the right move.
Yep.
Like 100% the right move because it stops players from coming back just for the money.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll dive into more of that next week. Jason, your programming notes for this week?
Vinny and I are going to be doing, we will be live Thursday night around the 6:00 hour for this week's edition of Ball Game. And as we talked about earlier in this program, with every passing game, man, the playoff picture is starting to get a little bit clearer. We're going to be breaking all that down this Thursday live. And then on Friday, we will be relaunching the Pro Wrestling Rewind podcast. Ryan Frostbite Kidwell and I will be looking at a list of the dumbest gimmicks in pro wrestling history. And if you're looking at this graphic, you see 4 of them right there. That was a fun episode. It drops at midnight right here on the PFC Entertainment Network, and that does include YouTube as well on the PFC Network YouTube channel. So check that out this Friday at midnight. brand new relaunch episode of Pro Wrestling Rewind. Very much looking forward to that. So as far as shows go, that's what we have on the docket this week.
Hell yeah. So
Lead us off, Jason.
yeah, Jason.
And I love Sacramento. I guess
Hell yeah.
You do, and they love you. They love you. And I think you might have
start making
gained
some Cleveland shirts too.
yeah, you might have gained some Cleveland fans today as well.
Just add them to my tour. Just add them to the tour. All right. We certainly appreciate everybody tuning in. Eric and Tim, certainly appreciate you. Abe from Detroit, thank you so much for joining us on this week's program. Very much looking forward to getting him back on the air. I do want to talk wrestling with him. That would be a lot of fun. So
have you seen a lot of his wrestling content? Like they cover everything, dude. Follow them on the Holy Shoot podcast. Like seriously, like they do every bit, and their wrestling coverage is awesome. Like they put out so much content. But like you said at the beginning of the thing, that's his job. You know what I mean? That's all they do is put out content constantly. So I see him more than I see Amy. I'll just say that, like, because I spend too much damn time online. But yeah, thank you, Abe, for jumping on the show with us tonight. Jason, thank you. You're awesome.
Lead us off, brother.
Fuck off.
all right. With that, go out this week. Be awesome to yourselves and to each other. We'll see you next week right here on the Sports Reel Podcast, live on the PFC Entertainment Network.
Let's go, Scotty Scheffler and the Tigers.